all the action in today's critical matchup in the Freedom Football Conference between University of Massachusetts at Lowell and Plymouth State College. And it is a rather unaccustomed situation for both teams, as usually they've come in at top of the conference. This year they're struggling a little bit, and it's an interesting matchup in that both teams have real big weaknesses and very obvious strengths, and they both mirror each other. So we don't know what's going to happen in the ballgame today, John.
And it is a big matchup, David, because we're talking about their first meeting as members of the Freedom Football Conference, so there's a lot on the line. Traditionally, these teams have come together with 3-0 records for this game. Today, Lowell comes in at 1-2, Plymouth is 1-1, so there is an awful lot at stake.
And as I mentioned just a second ago, both teams have some very glaring weaknesses. Plymouth on the ground had a lot of trouble last week. Lowell, their strength in defense is against the passing game. Plymouth is going to have to go to the pass, so it should be very interesting.
Plymouth will have to go to the pass. That puts the pressure on quarterback Paul Laundry, who's done a nice job with it. His key receiver today will probably be Doug Cantrell. Doug's a big kid, 6'2", 190. Lowell has an inexperienced and small secondary, so I think Cantrell will be the go-to guy early on for Plymouth.
And the way to counteract that, of course, is into Lowell's strengths, which is rushing the passer, and they got some big games from people last week.
David Medwar was the Player of the Week in the Freedom Football Conference, in the Budget Player of the Week in the ECAC. An outstanding player, had 10 tackles, 2 sacks, a block punt, a block field goal. He's an impact player and someone that Plymouth will have to contend with.
And on Plymouth's side of Lowell's side of the ball, they have had real difficulty running the football.
They have had uncharacteristic difficulties, David. They only got 4 yards on the ground in 30 carries in their first game against Coast Guard, and they've only had marginal success since then. That puts the pressure on the passing game. Billy Rizos, their quarterback, will probably be looking to Tom Bradley, their top receiver, and that presents an interesting matchup between Plymouth's best defensive back and Mike Giard.
And, of course, and they're going to go one-on-one on the outside. Lou Deloge, coach of Plymouth State College, favors that one-on-one situation out there.
He does make his defensive backs play. They have to come and play. Fred Cole, the defensive secondary coach, his son Ryan is one of the best players on the team defensively. They will have to do the job one-on-one.
One last point, with Lowell having difficulty running the football, Plymouth had difficulty stopping the run. Do you see Lowell trying to exploit that problem early on?
They probably will. They'll go right at them early because they'll look for a 50-50 balance between the pass and the run. Plymouth promises the same thing. We'll have to see what they do in the opening minutes of the game.
Okay, there you have it. That's a summary of where we stand as we get ready to watch the University of Massachusetts at Lowell take on Plymouth State College in what is the biggest rivalry for each of these teams on the schedule, and they're going to go at it when we come back.
Outside this old world just keeps on.
Randy Travis, he's the best.
Still the real things are.
What a voice.
Hello.
Hi.
When you found the real thing.
Think he's as cute in person? Uh-huh. What I wouldn't give to meet a guy like him. Hey, Julie, want to ring up this Coca-Cola Classic?
Thank you.
Can't beat the real thing.
Where would you go if you were rich?
If I was driving, we'd go south in warm weather, and if he's driving, we'd go north in...
No, we'd go just plain north. That's all good country up there.
I would take my wife to Russia with me next week.
I'd get into my car and just drive off into the sunset and go wherever I could possibly go.
Well, 6 blocks south down the rotary traffic.
Pack up the band, take them to New Orleans, and on to Hawaii.
Isn't it fantastic to be rich?
You know, every time I tell people about a great deal they can get on a Chevy, they can't resist. They want to hug me. But this time, I'm not taking any chances. Because it's your Chevy dealer's biggest event of the year.
The Chevy year-end clearance sale. To make room for the 93s, we're offering generous cashback deals, smart lease programs, and special incentives on all 92 Chevy cars and trucks in stock. Over 10,000 to choose from.
Who can resist? Oh, no. I should have known this was going to happen.
See your neighborhood Chevy dealer today.
No other sport, professional or otherwise, can match the grassroots excitement, intensity, and spirit of high school football. Each week, Sports Channel updates you on all the big games throughout the region as New England High School Football Weekly returns for its 4th exciting year. Join Peter Gay every Thursday at 6 p.m. and Friday at 5:30 as he brings you the scores, the highlights, and the inside stories that make high school football New England's #1 sport.
To me, like the cutbacks and the trap blocking and cut against the crane gives Lowell a problem, and that is really Friedman's strength. Bosk used that to his advantage on the 61-yard run. Okay, 2nd and 7 2nd and 8. Laundry with the ball. Fake the dive. There it is, a Wishlands. Tough name to pronounce. Anyway, he gets it up over the 20, takes it to about the 23-yard line, right up the gut. Nice play fake, I think, froze the linebackers, and Wishlands took it up inside the, as I say, took it to the 22. It's going to be 3rd down and 6 to go.
A little bit of deception there by Plymouth. And talking to offensive coordinator Jeff Wickman before the game, he was talking about some of the things they were hoping to do, let Lowell's defense set a tone and then try and react to it, which is what they did with that play-action fake.
Okay, probably going to look to pass. Be interesting. Cantrell is to the left. He's the big target. Big size advantage there on the left-hand side. And Laundry, left-hander, throws well to the left. Fake the draw. He's going to roll left. He's looking across the field, and there he goes. The Cantrello's wide open at the 40-yard line, and he drops the ball right in his hands. Actually, a little bit lower around the knees. He had to slow up for it. But a beautiful pass. He had 10 yards on the defense, and it all goes for naught on a well-conceived play and a good call by the Plymouth side of the field.
And all kinds of time for Laundry in that play. As you said, David, he was able to lay it right out there in his hands. The good time came by benefit of a block from Dave George. If you watch him tie up Dave Wedmar, the All-American from Lowell, Rizos rolls to his left, looks downfield, and all alone is Cantrell. Ball just couldn't be caught.
Goes the punt to O'Donnell, and Bartlett are back. Ball bounces around to 45. O'Donnell's got it. He's weaving through traffic, and he's going to go down right at midfield. Big, huge break for Lowell as Cantrell dropped his second pass early on, usually a very sure-handed receiver. And that's a heartbreaker for the homecoming faithful here at Courier Memorial Field in Plymouth.
Once again, the territorial advantage goes back to Lowell. They've got the ball inside Panther territory, just over the 50-yard line. Still has the wind at his back now. Rizos may take advantage right away. Let's see if they want the quick strike while Plymouth may be a little bit down from that drop.
And usually sooner or later it's the field position battle. If you continue to be knocking on the door and have the inside position, sooner or later something's got to give. Okay, Lowell back to the ground, and Machado, he's got plenty of room over the 45 into the Plymouth on the left-hand side to about the 41-yard line. About an 8-yard pickup. Nice blocking on the left-hand side by the big, very big offensive line.
Caracciolo and Hansen in on the tackle. You don't want to see your secondary men making that many tackles in the open field. We watch here as Machado takes the handoff. He'll break to his left. Good blocking, as David said. There's a big heavy hit by Caracciolo and Hansen that took him off his feet. But we have a flag on the play right now. A little bit of a discussion after the play seemed to have ended. The officials dropped the flag. They're stepping something off against UMass Lowell right now.
Good blocking, though, on the left-hand side of the line by Chris Green, Chris Reardon. Bookends, guys, big size, 6'4", 275 for Green and 6'2", 250 for Reardon. And they're just pounding away and opened up a nice hole.
That's why Lowell's early ineffectiveness with the running game has been surprising to many people. They do have a real strong offensive line returning right now, and we can't understand why they've been unable to move the ball. In the recent games, they only picked up 4 yards on the ground against Coast Guard, which is really uncharacteristic of a Lowell team. And they didn't have much more success against Norwich or WPI, averaging less than 60 yards a game in those two contests.
Okay, here we got the long play. It's set first down in about 30. And there's a play to the right-hand side. Kind of a curious call on a first and make it 28-yard. Communion was to carry it off the left guard, and Plymouth stacked up the defense right there. And the big guys, Barry, Hawks, and I think it was Cloutier. Yeah, Cloutier stepped in to make the hit. And Plymouth defense has got to like that kind of a call. Not a lot of deception there.
Not a lot of deception and not a lot of room to maneuver either. Once he got into the line, Kuyumjin really had no options. He had green shirts all around him. Look now for Lowell maybe to string it out a little bit more, try and use something more to the outside, take advantage. As you said, David, they've got about a 15, 20-yard, maybe a 25-yard gain ahead of them here if they're going to do anything with this drive. Might have to be a little more creative.
Wideouts, Bradley and LaBeouf left and right. In the eye back, Rizzo's right back to pass. He's looking for Bradley on the square out. There it is. Beautiful play right in the sideline, but they're going to say both feet were out of bounds, but a nice catch by Tom Bradley on the left-hand side of the field on the left-hand roll. And it was P.J. Hansen with the tackle to drive Wagner off the field before he had a chance to get those feet down.
On the replay now, we see Rizzo start to roll again to his strong side, looks over, and he has him open, sets up on the sideline. Nice hit by Hansen, timed it well to take him out of bounds and stop that pickup. Lowell looking at a third down now, and long.
And he couldn't even get 1 foot in bound, which of course is the rule in college as opposed to the pro rule. You got to get them both down. Okay, wide out, same formation, eye back, Rizzo's is back. Kind of a play-action pass. Didn't really fool anybody. Scrambles a little bit to his left in the same spot. Same play. Bradley, same catch. And same result as he was out of bounds. This time he was a lot farther out of bounds. And once again, it was number 8, P.J. Hansen, on the coverage. And he's doing a nice job of using that sideline to his advantage to force that pass outside of the sideline.
Rizzo's didn't have much time. He was chased and pressured by Plymouth's Mark Roper, who really forced him to get rid of the ball before he was ready, and that didn't leave Bradley, who's Lowell's all-time leading receiver, much room to operate on the sideline.
Okay, Charlie Sheeran in the punt, number 1, gets one off the side of his foot. It's going to come to the short man, Hansen, who's got it in the left-hand side, and he's got running room. Jumps inside, he's over to about the 50, still on his feet. 2 penalty flags as Hansen drags 2 bodies down to about the 45-yard line. Nice run by the up-back off of a bad punt, but we'll have to see. Usually when the flags go up in that situation, we're talking about one of 2 of the favorite penalties of the day, the clip or the offensive hold.
Nice play by Hansen on the short punt. The wind has shifted here at Courier Field. The wind blew the ball back short, so Hansen was able to take it. They were all looking at Giard, and I think just that little bit of advantage, getting the ball 10 yards sooner, sent him with top speed right into the Lowell attack. They almost overran him, and that was to his benefit, but now we're seeing it stepped off against Plymouth.
Another casualty of the shift in wind were the papers I had in front of me on the table. We have got a shake-up in our rosters here, so you have to bear with us.
What's the fine for littering in Plymouth?
Okay, Plymouth, this is their best field position I think they've had here. 3:48 in the first quarter, scoreless ball game. Ball's in the 33, 1st and 10. Doug Cantrell comes out to the right side, and you know he's itching to kind of make up for the couple of drops he's had, including the bomb in the last play. And we've got, who is it, Carlo coming in motion. He steps into the slot, and they're going right to the pass. Laundry looks back, looks to the left-hand side of the field. Beautiful pass over to Carlo. He's got a lot of room on the right-hand side. And what a nice pass as Carlo takes it down to about the 42-yard line into Lowell territory. And Paul Laundry lofted it over the front man in the zone and just dropped it into Carlo. Beautiful play.
Nice play by Laundry here as we see Laundry roll out, and he waits. Carlo, who had been in motion, steps behind Trent Bartlett, was able to make the play on the sideline, but again, a nice pickup for Plymouth. Now they have the first down inside Lowell territory at the Lowell 40, what do you call it, 43?
43-yard line. They moved it back. 1st and 10, 3:23 left in the first quarter. In motion, La Police. Laundry is back to pass. No, he gives them the delay to Boston. He's got some running room. Now there's some white shirts. Slips it down. It looks like he may pick up half a yard in the play. Looked like he had a little bit of room, but nice reaction to the ball. Good closing speed by the right-hand side of the Lowell defense.
I think he did have a little bit of room, Dave. Boss tends to be more the straight-ahead runner, the guy who knocks people over. Perhaps he got a little bit too shifty in that play, lost his footing without much pressure from the Lowell defense.
Carlo back in the ball game. The shuttle system between he and La Police continues. Plymouth with actually lost a yard, 2nd and 11. To the wideouts to the right, Carlo in the slot. H-back is Wishlands on the right. And it looks like we're going to see flags all over the play, and if I have to guess, got to be a delay of game. Plymouth hurts itself again with another penalty. Well, it remains to be seen if they hurt themselves, but certainly they put themselves in a different situation. They're going to mark off 5 yards, take it back to the 47, 48-yard line, and Plymouth is going to be faced with a 2nd and 16 situation.
Possibly a change now on the play call. Certainly you're looking at a different offensive requirement now, looking at 2nd and 16. See what Laundry does.
Excuse me, John. The passing game has looked good. Plymouth's been open, even though they cut a couple of drops. Laundry back to pass, looking left. He's looking to get on the outside. Beautiful block on Menswar, and Laundry's got all kinds of room on the left-hand side. Over the 30, over the 20. He's to the 10. Beautiful cutback. He's fighting it down, and it looks like he is down at about the 1-yard line or inside the 1-yard line. That's the best scramble since Bobby Douglas was playing quarterback for the Chicago Bears out of the pocket. 47 yards. Problem is there are 2 yellow flags at about the 50-yard line, and it's all going to come back. And I'll tell you what, I think they're going to call the block on Menswar, which to me looked very clean. There it is right there. He had the head in front of the knees, but they're calling that a clip as Laundry brings it down the sideline.
Dave George with the block on him that really did free him up. It looked like his head was out in front, but the official counted 1 before dropping the flag. In any case, it nullifies a very big gainer and a very exciting play for the Plymouth fans.
Replay again. Let's take a look. The key play, as we take a look at the replay, as it goes to the right, is the block on number 58. And we didn't
by
really get
Dave George.
Looked like, I was going to say, it looked to me like his head was on the inside of the knee, and it didn't come from behind, even though he dove from behind. And Plymouth is consistently doing a good job of moving the ball, except it's going backwards here. Got a 2nd and 32. Now they're going to bring out the trick play. Okay, they got a lot of room to the right side. Cantrell and La Police are on the right side. La Police in the slot. Well, here comes a screen to the left-hand side. Boss, a lot of white shirts. O'Donnell is there. Who else do we have in the... Jamie Damaris was there, and others. As a big crowd, drew a big crowd. They didn't really fool anybody on the screenplay.
Nice pursuit by Jamie Damaris, who's hauling an awful lot of weight around there. He goes 296 pounds, yet when Bost was able to make that one shift, it allowed Damaris time to catch him from behind and bring him down.
Okay, no gain on the play. It'll go to 3rd. Check that, 6-yard loss in the play. 3rd and 38 from the 29-yard line. This drive started on the 50-yard line for Plymouth. They're in position to kick a field goal.
There's only a minute left in the period here. Perhaps Plymouth may get backed up into its own end zone before it's over.
See what Laundrie has got in his bag of tricks. Long count, giving it to Friedman. He's going left, cuts against the grain. He's over the 35, fights his way down. Little extracurricular activity as Friedman didn't want to hit his knee, but didn't want to admit that he was down, and then he was put right back down on the field by Dan Shanahan.
And again, Jamie Damaris with a good defensive pursuit for a real big guy. Friedman's a real slippery character, and it says a lot about Damaris that he was able to grab him and hang on.
And actually, it was Hirata Giuseppe who put him back down. There's the punt by Giard. He's kicking it. O'Donnell's going to field it at the 30. Bunch of green shirts. He's running right. He draws a big crowd. Number 97 on the play. Colby Compton, a linebacker, freshman out of East Brookfield, Massachusetts. Good coverage from an interior line guy. Nowhere to go. 30-yard line is where Lowell's going to take it, and we've got 14 seconds left here in a scoreless first quarter battle between UMass Lowell and Plymouth State College. Okay, Lowell with the ball. Rizzo's gives the Machado for what has been their bread and butter play. Machado, lots of room. Nice, nifty running. A lot of footwork to get himself about a 10-yard gain, maybe 9-yard gain. And really, it didn't look like he had a lot of room at all. He just kind of fiddled left and fiddled right, and Johnny Most would have been proud of him.
Nice work by Russ Williams and Jeff Benjamin, the left side of the Lowell offensive line, to free him up on that play.
Okay, that's the end of the first quarter with the score. UMass Lowell nothing, Plymouth State College nothing from Courier Memorial Field in Plymouth, and we'll have more of this exciting game right after this.
If you're searching for a cool, refreshing experience, if you're looking for the real thing, then you've come to the right place. Coca-Cola Classic.
I see you got my message.
I see I'm not the only one.
Here's what's happening this October on Sports Channel. The Hartford Whalers kick off the first month of the season with 9 games, both home and on the road. We have over 20 college football games, including a live telecast of the Harvard Holy Cross game. The Canadian Football League is storming along with 4 live matchups. And don't forget Eddie Animan's Tuesday Night Football. It's football, fun, and more. The Boston Celtics preseason gets rolling with a matchup against the Utah Jazz. It's all in October on Sports Channel. Sports Channel. Turn us on, and here's what you'll see. Thoroughbred action. Harvey Pack brings you all the thoroughbred horse racing excitement from the tracks all across New York State. Every racing day, you'll get gate-to-wire coverage of the races and the official results from the tracks. Plus, Harvey will keep track of the fastest horses, the best jockeys, and the current racing trends. Horse racing has never been more exciting than on Thoroughbred action. That's what you'll get when you turn on Sports Channel.
Got UMass Lowell Chiefs against the Plymouth State College Panthers. In the beginning of the second half, while we were away, we missed the opening play, which a nifty run by Lowell as they took it out. Derek Ross took it for about 10 yards. Unfortunately, has been a pattern here in the ball game. Looks like we had a holding penalty, and now it's Lowell who's on the march backwards.
2nd and 10 for the Chiefs.
Rizos, two guys in the slot on the left-hand side, split backfield. Machado, Rizos is dropping straight back to pass. He throws it over the middle, and it looks like beautiful catch by Bradley, diving in the air. Tom Bradley, the leading receiver for Lowell, really caught a nice job in traffic. John Morley on the tackle. And neither of those guys are related to the other John Morley and Tom Bradley, the retiring mayor in Los Angeles.
Lowell going underneath here a little bit. The linebackers from Plymouth had dropped back, which left Morley in position to make that play. But a big pickup for Lowell, looking now at a 3rd and about 1.
Plymouth playing his zone for the first time here in the first half. Okay, full house backfield. And they go right up the gut, and there's a big pile up, and it's going to be a matter of, I think he scored it through. I think it was Communion who scored it through at the end. He was originally stopped by the front wall. Barry and Hawks in on the play. Dan Tappan, but we'll have to wait and see where they're going to spot it. To use our first cliche of the day.
Nothing fancy in that case, Dave. As you indicated, they are probably going to call for the measurement.
Didn't make it. 4th down with the fist by the officials. And Lowell, at least apparently not showing a gambling spirit here. 3rd, and it looks like a half an inch. I can't even believe they didn't measure it, to tell you the truth. But Sheeran is into punt. Number 1 punting to Giard. Number 1, kind of a wobbly punt. Giard's going to field it on the run. There's a fumble hit off the front of and he's got it back. He's pretty good at that play. Maybe a deceptive play. Bounced off the shoulder pads, and I didn't even see it go down to the ground. Must have bounced off somebody's back and come back to him. But Plymouth picks up about 10 yards on the exchange. You're going to take a look at it in the replay. Charlie Sheeran is the guy back to punt. When was the last time you saw number 1 punt to number 1?
A couple of aces. Giard did drop it. It did hit the ground. As you see, he had a lucky bounce with 3 Lowell defenders around him. He was able to make the short hop, almost like a running play by the shortstop, to take it on the wrong foot.
I was going to say it must have been a third baseman, because they take a lot in the chest, and you got to stay with it and pounce on it. Giard really did a heads-up play, staying there. Smart guy, all ECAC performer last year, and very versatile guy. Punts, backup kicker, plays defensive backfield. He's the first defensive backfield punter since the 50s when Yale Larry did it for the Detroit Lions.
You're dating yourself, Dave.
I read a lot. Okay, Plymouth really has moved the ball, but has been troubled by penalties all throughout. Wide side of the field to the right. Laundry call and signals in the I backfield. Friedman in the ball game. Shortstop pitch to Cantrell, who's got it. He's got some room, going to use his size. It's going to be a tough job for, I think it was not O'Donnell, it was on the left-hand side, but they let him use his just pure strength.
Isolated there with Dan Shanahan, who came up on him, and Cantrell, as you said, David, able to use his better upper body strength to just muscle the ball further downfield, picking up a first down for the Panthers.
Trent Bartlett was the guy on the play, the corner on the left-hand side, and he's at 5'10", 186. Cantrell uses his superior strength at 6'2", 190, and he looks a lot bigger than that to me. But he took it out. Plymouth picks up a first down, and ball goes to about the 48-yard line. Wishlin in motion out of the eye. Goes to Friedman on the left-hand side, looking for room. He's over the 50 and attracts a bigger crowd than his subway platform at rush hour for that one, as he takes it over about the 48-yard line. And Friedman really hasn't had a lot of room to run so far, John.
I was just going to say, he needs a little more room than that. He doesn't need a lot, but he's a very slashing runner. And if he's running in close off tackle like that, he just doesn't have the maneuverability he doesn't have the strength, I guess, to knock the big guys off. He needs a little more room. Perhaps you'd look to run him outside a little bit more.
Jeff Jordan and Ted Anagnos, who are two of the main principals on the play. Okay, Plymouth brings it out. They're in the H-back set. Boston the ball game. Laundry back to pass, looks for that same play to Cantrell. This time it's DiCarlo, though, and he's got a lot of room. He's going to be over the 40-yard line. Plymouth with another first down. No flags on the play, and they're going to move it back up, and it gets to about the 36-yard line. And that so far seems to be those short passes. Guys are open and most effective for Plymouth so far.
Using the real quick two-step drop by Laundry, he gets it out to Cantrell, isolated really with a couple of smaller players in Spidell and Encarnacio. Again, able to use his superior strength to move the ball downfield. Plymouth challenge now is to stay away from the penalties that have been stalling their drives.
Single back in the backfield is Bost. Wishlin's in motion to the left. Comes, it looks like the misdirection play to Bost. He's surrounded again, fights, and doesn't look like he is going to maybe lost a yard. make it maybe 2 yards back to about the 37-yard line. Jeff Jordan in the play again. He has been in the middle of just about everything. Nice job by the middle linebacker, defensive signal caller.
And John Chashire with good penetration really forced Bost off his stride, and that's what allowed Jordan to get in the thick of that one again. Lowell's defensive line is doing a nice job. They are getting through. Linebackers have to pursue.
Marked it at the 36, 2nd and 10. 11:37 left in the second quarter of a scoreless ball game. Pull back in motion once again. Laundry back to pass. He's looking at Cantrell on the turn behind him a little bit. Picked off. Picked off. Beautiful play. Ball was just a touch behind him. And what was it? Dan Shanahan stepped in and picked it off. He was right there. That ball had to be thrown to the sideline or it was going nowhere. Good defensive coverage by Shanahan.
It was the deep out, and as you said, Laundry's had real good success with that pass to Cantrell. He rolls here to his strong side, as you see, puts the ball just behind Cantrell, actually cast him in something of a defensive role. He was trying to strip the ball from Shanahan with his left hand. Shanahan had a better position, was able to hang on. Lowell cuts another Plymouth drive off, and they'll take over on their own 26-yard line.
Cantrell used his body well in that play, too. If the ball had come to the outside, there's no way Shanahan could have got in there. Okay, they're going right back off left tackle. That's a play that's very familiar. Machado goes over the 35 to about the 38. We got P.J. Hansen on the play. We've got Jeff Jarry on the defensive stop. But that play, Lowell looks to be getting a little bit well their running game at the expense of Plymouth as they continue to run it over the left-hand side and pick up yardage.
And Hansen and Caracciolo again on the play, forced to make a lot more tackles than you'd like. You don't like to see those smaller secondary guys taking on these big running backs. Again, the line has to pick up some of the slack here.
Bit of an alarming signal for Plymouth since they had the same problem a week ago. Lowell with a 2nd and 8, 2nd and 2 situation. Ball goes up the middle and a lot of activity. He's going to come up short. Mugian is going to come short. He's to about the 34-yard line. Picks up maybe a half a yard. Dan Tappan with the play on the inside. Too bad Dan wasn't a basketball player. You know, you could call him Dan. That's a good Tappan. You kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Economy.
Lowell faced with a 3rd and 1 now. Last time they were in this situation, they went right straight forward with Commugian, and we'll have to see what they opt for this time.
Okay, Lowell, I'm looking for the left-hand side. They got the full house backfield, comes to the right side, and gets over the 36. Depends where the spot is, but I think Machado got the first down.
His penetration did take him out to the 36, David. He got rolled back off the pile. The official seems to have spotted it right on the 36, which would make it close. I wouldn't be surprised to see a measurement on this play.
Caracciolo came up from his left cornerback spot to jump into the action. A couple of guys, Williston was in on the play as well.
Big measurement for Lowell now, 10-10 remaining here in the second period of a scoreless game, trying to get their offense untracked and get a little consistent drive going as they measure the ball on the 36.
Hypothesize if it's short, and it looks like they are short by about 1/4 of an inch.
The official indicating with his upraised hands, you could probably have slipped a piece of paper in there, maybe a dollar bill, but I'm not sure.
They probably have a couple of mine down in the field that they can use if they want to. But anyway, what do you do here? You got 1/4 of an inch at the 37-yard line.
It's tough in a scoreless game. I'm not sure that this is 4-down territory for Lowell. We'll have to see. Plymouth a little bit uncertain how to play it as well.
They are going to do it. If they really want it to be gambling, fake it into the line and go deep to Wagner.
Dennis Scannell, the Lowell coaching staff gambling here. Full house backfield.
And full house backfield, we're going to see probably, and there's the quarterback sneak. Rizos, haven't seen that in a while, but he jumped a little bit off left-hand side of the center and in between the left guard. And looks to me, again, it depends on the spot, but there it is, first down. Nice call, went for the safe call.
Safe call here. Rizos takes a snap and steps quickly to his left. Waits to see where the Plymouth defense is set. They are crowding the ball, but he takes a snap and quickly that one drop step to his left, follows his left guard right through into the middle, and the Plymouth defenders felt they had him stacked up here. They really thought they'd halted his penetration, but the officials came in with the spot. As you see, they picked up maybe a half a yard on the play, but they needed so little, that was enough to give them the first round.
And they really had to surge off the ball. You could see that there. Russ Williams, the left tackle, he wound up about 5 years up on the line of scrimmage, really anticipated the snap count very well. That's all you need in that situation. Okay, here goes Rizos, tackled in the backfield. Beautiful play by number 95, penetrated. Wes Oswald with the play, And he really got himself into the backfield very quickly. That has been the bread and butter play, those off-tackle plays. This time doesn't work. 2-yard loss.
That could be a big play for Plymouth. Again, they could be emotionally a little bit down after that big first down play. So now they stuff Lowell on the first play, get him back to a 2nd and 12 with 9:17 remaining here in the second period. Let's see if Plymouth can use that.
Oswald out of Central High School in Manchester, New Hampshire. 2nd down and 10, 11. Actually, Rizzo's back to pass. Pocket collapses, but he gets it off. And Bradley wanted to run before he caught it. He looked upfield definitely and hit him right between the 8 and the 4. And a nice pass by Rizzo's.
That's an uncharacteristic drop for Bradley. He came into this season with 109 career receptions. He's the all-time leading receiver at UMass Lowell, and I'm sure he's going to be talking to himself in the huddle over that drop because it was in first down territory, Dave, as you indicated.
How much do you think the intensity of a rivalry and that little lack of concentration maybe is there occurs because of the intensity of the rivalry?
I think the intensity of the hitting may be contributing to the receivers getting happy feet as well.
Okay, Rizzo's back to pass, a lot of time, and there is Bradley again. This time he's got it on the jump catch. I think he catches it better when he jumps in the air, and he had 2 receivers defenders, Ryan Cole and P.J. Hansen were there, but Wagner on a nice play takes it to the 49-yard line and a first down.
And again, a lot of time for Rizzo's. His offensive line's doing a great job, and you see Bradley crossing it over the middle, had all kinds of time, and as you said, Dave, it seems that he's better, kind of like the Sundance Kid. He's better when he moves. Takes the ball in the air for the first down. Lowell just inside their own territory at the 49 with 8:43 remaining in the second period.
Interesting ball game so far, particularly when you consider that it's a scoreless tie at this moment. 8:36 left in the second period. But there's been a lot of ball movement. They just can't get it past the 30s in either case. Rizzo's back to pass. A little bit more pressure. He lofts it downfield to Bradley, and Bradley had to turn around. Giard was right there, but I thought for a second Giard had lost the ball, and Bradley unable to take advantage of that.
I think he did. It looked like Giard turned away into the field, away from the receiver, and that left Bradley with that whole sideline. Had the pass been thrown more to the outside, I think he would have pulled it in for a big, big gain.
And I think maybe Wagner might have had it. As we take a look at Mike Giard, Wagner might have had a little problem. That's the side of the field where the sun is coming into. Maybe he had a little glare or a little problem with the sun. Here they go off right tackle to Machado, and he runs into a wall of people. Hoolier is there, Hansen is there, John Morley is there, and the guy who really stuffed it, the big guy, I believe, is number 66. Mark Fisher was there, but also we lost our 66, Keith Ferreira, on the play, and it really was stacked up nicely. Plymouth looks like they've made the adjustment. The defensive coordinators and the defensive coaches in the line have made the adjustment, and Lowell, at least on this possession, has not really moved the ball off tackle as effectively as they had earlier. 3rd and 9. Rizzo's back to pass. He's got 3 receivers looking the right-hand side, and he's wide open. Big John Wagner catches it and lumbers down on a nice loft pass. Good touch by Billy Rizzo. Looked like he was had somebody caught at the net and just lofted it over their back to the corner in a tennis match as he dropped it into Wagner's hands. And John took it over for first down for Lowell, all the way down to about the 35-yard line.
Nice play by Wagner, not only on the catch, but on the delay. It was time delay at the line. He waited, let the linebackers fall off. As soon as they slipped away, he slipped downfield, and he made sure at that last lunge that he did have the yardage for the first down.
And that's a heady play by a receiver. Here we go to the left. They're running wide for the first time in a while. Machado's got a lot of room. No green shirts. He cuts back to about the 25-yard line. Giard down there. And Lowell completely wiped out the left-hand side of the right-hand side of the defensive line for Plymouth. And Machado had all kinds of room, and I think looks like a first down once again.
First time to the outside, the pitch to Machado. A nice follow-through fake by Rizzo's heading the other direction. Machado left pretty much to himself out there, was able to hit that hole enough to get the first down. He did drop the ball upon hitting the ground. I think the Plymouth players were arguing that they had a fumble on their hands. Officials have waved that off, though, and they are spotting the ball on the 25-yard line.
It's not a first down. He got 8, I guess, on the play. I don't like that call, the ground forced the fumble. But to me, that's part of the tackle.
I think
Okay, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back. 7:04 left in the second period. Scoreless ball game. We'll have more after this.
Plymouth is diverse studies, but it's one spirit. Participation, enthusiasm, putting together the program that's right for you, that helps put you on the road you want to take. By some people's standards, 3,000 is a small college. By ours, Plymouth is one big family. That spirit filters into every part of campus life.
Back here at Courier Memorial Field on the campus of Plymouth State College, we have a scoreless tie here with 7 minutes left in the second period. UMass Lowell, Plymouth State College, and UMass Lowell is not quite knocking on the door, but they are within the 20-yard line, or actually they're on about the, the 24-yard line. They've got a 2nd and 3 situation, and they're doing an effective job moving the ball here on this drive.
A lot of room to the right now as Rizzo prepares to take the snap. Plenty of room to work on this side.
And Derek Ross has the ball. Bang, couple of big hits, but he fights his way across to about the 21-yard line. John Barry made the first hit. Big guy. Guess he's not in Europe playing for... Here comes to take a look at the replay. Ross goes right up the gut. An effective play. Barry, number 75, on the big hit. 6'4", 235 out of Watertown, Massachusetts. Oh, I thought that might have been the first-round pick for the Celtics, and had a year of eligibility, came up to Lowell. Not the case. Okay, Lowell picks up the first down. Now they are officially knocking on the door at the 20-yard line. Rizzo's rolling to the right. He's got really nobody open, and there comes Bradley, and Bradley steps in from behind 3 green shirts. Very deceptive play by Bradley. Heads-up play, stepped in, made the catch, and he goes out of bounds at about the 7-yard line, and now he definitely is knocking on the door.
Nice, smart play by receiver Bradley, who has to know what he needs. He comes out as we see Rizzo's rolling to his right again. He's waiting now. He's watching Bradley as he's sliding along the line, just inside maybe the 5-yard line. At the last second, he steps up and puts himself in front of the Plymouth defenders. Safety is coming over, and too late, he's able to catch the ball. Had he been able to control himself, he might have been able to take it in. Instead, it's a first down for Lowell. As you see, Bradley, the Tewksbury High native.
Once again, the roll to the right, drops it to Machado, and he is going to take it to about the 2-yard line. Good play-action pass, throws the inside linebackers. Everybody was keen on the inside man, and Machado's just kind of popped outside of the line, and is going to pick up about 5 yards.
Here we see the reception by by Machado again. Takes the ball down inside the 2-yard line. Plymouth with some defensive changes, bringing in some bulkier linemen up front to try and slow what they expect to be a thrust on the ground here.
Full house backfield for Lowell. Into Kanugian, and he's stood straight up inside the line. I think it was John Barry again on the play. Take a check on it, but he just hit him right in the shoulder pads and stood him right up. Check that, it was Mark Fisher on the big play, number 53. Nice play by the big guy. Mark Roper also down at the bottom of the pile.
And on Tappan, good work by that big Plymouth defensive front we mentioned. Smart switch by Coach Lou DeLoges, who brings in the big guys to try and slow down this ground game up close. You know Lowell's going to stay with the bread and butter stuff, and now they're going to have to do it from the third down.
Number 92, Scott Dimitri, was in the ball game well as a blocking back, and here goes Machado, and he gets it over for the first score of the ball game, over left tackle over the big guys, Russ Williams, Tim Kenny, Jeff Benjamin, and that was a nice, just put his head down low and drove himself in. Lowell leads it 6-0 with 5:11 left in the second period.
As we said, Dave, nothing fancy when you're down inside the 2. No reason to get anything creative right here. Machado's been hitting the line hard all day. Rizzo's takes the snap, quick turn, straight ahead blocking by the big guys, as you said, able to push Plymouth off the ball to get the thrust. Gives UMass Lowell the 6-0 lead at 5:11.
And there was a nice block also out of the backfield by Scott Dimitri, a linebacker, number 92, as it is up the extra point, and there is a signal. Penalty flags on the field, though, and not sure who it is, but as the official, we're going to take a break, and we'll take a look. It appears to be a penalty on Plymouth. It'll be assessed on the kickoff. 7-0 to score. Lowell leads here in the second period.
Where would you go if you were rich?
If I was driving, we'd go south in warm weather, and if he's driving, we'd go north in...
No, we'd go just plain north. That's all good country up there.
I would take my wife to Russia with me next week.
I'd get into my car and just drive off into the sunset and go wherever I could possibly go.
Well, it's 6 blocks south down the rotary traffic.
Pack up the band, take them to New Orleans, and on to Hawaii.
Isn't it fantastic to be rich?
You know, every time I tell people about a great deal they can get on a Chevy, they can't resist. They want to hug me. But this time, I'm not taking any chances. Because it's your Chevy dealer's biggest event of the year.
The Chevy year-end clearance sale. To make room for the 93s, we're offering generous cashback deals, smart lease programs, and special incentives on all 92 Chevy cars and trucks in stock. Over 10,000 to choose from.
Who can resist? Oh, no. I should have known this was going to happen.
See your neighborhood Chevy dealer today.
Coming up after the Hartford Whalers game next Tuesday is going to be the Eddie Endelman Family Football Show here on Sports Channel. I'm not going to be here, but Mike Dowling from Channel 5 is going to be filling in. And, of course, we'll have great guests for you, including Hugh Millen, the starting quarterback of the New England Patriots, Ron Hobson, Kevin Mannix, and, of course, the humble one, Ron Borges. Now, let me also tell you, the big treat, we're going to have the entire Mormon Tabernacle Choir here. We're going to put on a punting exhibition. Don't you miss it.
Sports Channel. Turn us on, and here's what you'll see. English League Soccer. Each week of the season, the world's most popular sport is played on the home fields of Great Britain's professional soccer teams. Sports Channel selects the most exciting action from the best games and shows you the world's most skilled players as they challenge each other for one more win. Keep track of the teams leading the standings and more every week with English League Soccer. That's what you'll get when you turn on Sports Channel.
Back here in the foothills of the White Mountains at Plymouth State College, ball game UMass and Plymouth State College. Lowell is preparing to kick off here, and they're going to move it up to the 50-yard line as Plymouth was assessed. I'm not quite sure what the penalty was. I never saw the assessment, but anyway, it was a big one, of course, to the 50-yard line, and that means Plymouth will probably be receiving the ball somewhere around the 5-yard line.
Paul Police is the deep back for Plymouth here, ready to take the kick. As the Panthers trail 7-0 with 5:11 remaining in the second period.
Eric Mapson launches one into the end zone, lands on the back line. And we're not going to see any return on that one. That baby was tagged. Also, it was kind of, I've never seen a knuckleball like that, one that was kind of hit and had the vibration that went that far, but Plymouth absolutely no chance to return that one, and they're going to start things up from the 20, and I would think at this point they really need to get something. I think the field position problems, John, really finally caught up with them. They've been continually facing Lowell down at their 50, giving the ball inside their position, and sooner or later that's got to catch up to you.
And now Plymouth has to do something of their own, starting from their own 20-yard line. Laundry's got an awful lot of field ahead of him if he's going to get the Panthers on the board in this half.
Carlo wide to the left, Cantrell to the right. He's right back to pass, looking over the middle. He's got some room, and there's some. He goes down in a hail of bodies underneath. The pocket collapsed. Number 75, Jamie Damaris. Number 77, Ted Anagos were the key guys there, and Landry really not really no room to go with it. Also, good job in the secondary and the defensive end. And Landry.
I think that's what it was, David. If you talk about that play, you have to talk about the Lowell defensive coverage in the secondary. Really didn't give Laundry any options, and he did the wise thing, probably needing the ball.
And he did a good job getting it back to the line of scrimmage. Here comes a pitch to the left of Friedman. This is his kind of a situation, and he fights and is down, then up again. But in college ball, they don't let you get up again. He ran left, ran into, I think it was Minswar for one, or Medwar, excuse me. And Jordan, I believe, was in on it, but Jordan's coming out of the ball game.
I think O'Donnell was right in there as well when you talked about his effort, Friedman's effort to get back on his feet. O'Donnell's the one that made sure he didn't. No luck with that. Plymouth now with a 3rd and 10. Dave Medwar, the big defensive end. We mentioned the All-American last year returning from Lowell. The Freedom Football Conference Player of the Week this week as well.
Watch for the big rush here. Laundry over center, single back. He's back straight to pass. 3 guys on the right-hand side. He throws it to the sideline to Cantrell. Up there for grabs. Not a real good pass. And Cantrell really nothing to do with it. He might have just tried to throw it out of bounds because it really was up there and down the sideline.
I think he did. I think if Laundry was going to make a mistake on that play, he wanted to make it long so there wasn't the chance of the interception. When you're throwing the out like that, you got nothing but open sideline should a Lowell defender pick it off. So He erred on the side of caution, and now with 3:50 remaining in the second period, Plymouth is going to have to give the ball back to the Chiefs.
Okay, Bartlett and O'Donnell back to receive the kick in double tan. They're about 50-yard line and about the 47. Giard back to punt. There's a big rush on. He just gets rid of it. Nice kick up in the air. It's going to be O'Donnell. He fumbles it at the 45. He's got it, and there it launches a lateral to a lot of room on the left-hand side. There goes Bartlett, and he's going all the way to the 20, the 10, and he takes it in on a beautiful play in the lateral to what would have been probably a 30-yard pass sideways, and he paid the price as he was drilled, and I mean drilled by 3 guys, but a great call by the special teams coaches at Lowell as he took it. Must have been about 47 yards. Check that, 55 yards.
Just a beautiful play here. Scott Boyle is the one who took it, wearing number 3, is the one who took the pass. As you see, he picks up the fumble ball. As you said, a 30-yard pass across field where he hits Bartlett. Bartlett has nothing but green in front of him, and I don't mean Plymouth green, I mean green grass. Takes it right up the sideline. The Lowell bench was in celebration before he even crossed midfield. They had to be hiding this one in the books all week.
I'll tell you something else. It was really hard about that. He fumbled the ball, and he didn't get a chance to get his hands on the laces because he had to really just get rid of it. And there is the extra point attempt, and that one is drilled. Number 17, Tim Byrne, puts it through.
Watching this play, Lowell's had some changes with their uniforms, and it looks like here, Scott Boyle is number 3 in our book. He hits the pass, and he kicks the kick rather, gets creamed, makes the pass across field to Bartlett, and again, the Lowell celebration, which you can't see, is already taking place as he races downfield. Everyone moving down with their hands upraised. Lowell with a big 14-0 lead now, 3:31 remaining in the second period, and certainly the emotional momentum is on the Lowell side.
And again, I can't reiterate how tough. I mean, he had his hand on the tip of the ball. He didn't have his hands on the laces, and he had to move fast and just got off the strike across the field.
We are going to check here. It's pretty important in a play like that that we identify and give credit to the proper player. At the last minute before the game began, we were told that Scott Boyle, who normally wears 31, was wearing number 3 today. So we believe Scott Boyle, the linebacker, is the one who made that play, and perhaps he might be playing out of position for the most part, David. If you have a linebacker who can make a pass like that, maybe he should be on the other side of the ball.
You don't usually see linebackers running back punts either. There goes the kickoff, and they're not going to, Police is not going to get his hands on it. Lets it bounce into the end zone. Not hit quite as effectively or as hard as the last one, but gets the job done in the same manner. Plymouth once again is losing the position of field, the battle of field position. They're going to have to start it from the 20-yard line once again, and now Lowell leads it 14-0 with a little over 3 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Gotta like their position.
Homecoming crowd a little bit quiet on the home side of the field. Plymouth starting again from its own 20, and Laundrie's looking at the same situation he was looking at 2 minutes ago. He's just 7 points down further than he was before.
And the tendency here is to gamble and try and come up with a big play, and that's where mistakes happen sometime. Throws it out to the right-hand side, and probably just as good for Bosk that the play went incomplete because there were 2 guys. There is, what should we call him, O'Donnell Boyle or something? But there is Mr. Boyle over here on the left-hand side, and also a compatriot of his, number 44, Joe Incanarcio, was also there, and that play was going nowhere. So Plymouth is going to be with the incomplete pass, 2nd and 10, 3:25 left here in the second period, and Plymouth at this point struggling to really get something rolling. And to go 80 yards, they're going to have to pass the ball here in as the second quarter draws to a close, or comes closer to drawing to a close. 2 wideouts to the left, LaPolice and Cantrell. Laundrie with the long snap count. Lowell playing zone, and here it comes, launched down to Cantrell, and it's going to be out of bounds. And really nowhere to go. That ball sailed on Laundrie. Someone is down in the middle of the line for Plymouth, or at least slow to get up. But I'm going to go with Boyle. I think that is Boyle because he lined up that time in the linebacker slot.
We talked about Plymouth's need to gamble now. They're down 14 points in their own end. You see Laundrie roll to his left and his strong side, and he gets it out there just a little bit too deep. I guess if you're going to gamble, that's a relatively safe, modified gamble. The pass does go safely out of bounds, and there is no damage.
Okay, with the score 14-0, Lowell up on the Plymouth State College Panthers. Let's take a break, and we'll be back after that.
You know, every time I tell people about a great deal they can get on a Chevy, they can't resist. They want to hug me. But this time, I'm not taking any chances. Because it's your Chevy dealer's biggest event of the year.
The Chevy year-end clearance sale. To make room for the 93s, we're offering generous cashback deals, smart lease programs, and special incentives on all 92 Chevy cars and trucks in stock. Over 10,000 to choose from.
Who can resist? Oh, no. I should have known this was going to happen.
See your neighborhood Chevy dealer today.
Back here at Plymouth State College, Curry Memorial Field. And as Mark Sawicki is helped from the field, he was down there for quite a while, but looked pretty good walking off. He had a little bit of help, but he has come out of the game, so the game is about to start again. 3rd down and 10, and Plymouth has got to get something going with about 3 minutes to go here in the second period. Laundrie drops straight back. Gets outside the pocket, drops off to Friedman, who's got all kinds of running room on the left-hand side, and he's going to take it up across the 45-yard line. Nice job by Paul Laundrie, who had... He showed a lot of patience there to let Friedman kind of just drift out of there, set the block first, and then he had all kinds of room on the left-hand side.
Good patience, as you said, David. Originally, he tried to set up in the pocket. Rizzo takes the snap and drops straight back. They use the normal 3-step drop here. He sets up, nothing much, gets flushed out of the pocket, but good patience, as you said, to allow Friedman to get free, slide away from the linebackers, and then he did the rest of the job to get the ball up near midfield, probably at their own 45.
Deep drop by the linebackers in the zone there, and Friedman just slipped into the open area. And took a lot of room. Okay, Laundrie back to pass once again. A lot of time. He lost one. He's got La Police, and it looks intercepted by Encarnacio again. John Encarnacio, the cousin of John Encarnacio. He really just a bad pass. It was behind La Police. And Plymouth, who's had success in the short game, continues to go back to that long game. And it's kind of curious to me. There goes the long pass down, and Encarnacio. I mean, he had it all the way. Lowell in the deep zone, and really La Police was in the defensive position.
Big drive there for Plymouth. It would have been nice to get some points on the board going into the half. There's 3:02 remaining. They've given Lowell the ball, not with great field position. They're on the 26. I wouldn't look for the Chiefs to do much in the way of gambling right now. They'll probably be content to just keep the ball on the ground, run the clock out, and take a 14-0 lead into the half.
They've had success over the middle to Bradley, especially when he jumps for the ball. Okay, Rizzo's Machado, the only man in the backfield. They're going to go for more, and he's looking deep right over the middle to Bradley, who is wide open. Touchdown-saving tackle by Mike Giard, and he was there but 2 steps behind, and it was a nice play, nice call by the offensive staff.
Plenty of time for Rizos. Again, straight, little play action just to freeze the linebackers. It sets up, and Bradley running a nice route, cut right in front of Giard to the open area, and there was nothing ahead of him, again, but green space. Giard with a nice saving tackle. Tom Bradley, again, the leading receiver in UMass Lowell history, able to come up with a nice grab there while keeping his feet on the ground.
And I'll take kudos for the call there on the pass over the middle. Okay, Lowell with 2 guys split backfield. Rizzo's is going to go for more. It looks like they're going to try and keep just putting it up. Rizzo throws it back over the middle again to LaBeouf, who goes up high at the top of the clothesline, pulls it down, and goes down immediately at about the 37-yard line. 2nd consecutive first down for Lowell, and they are doing a good job of just beating Plymouth down the middle.
There is
a penalty flag on the field.
But Rizos again with the same drop, very similar to the previous play. Straight drop again, just a little look at the back, watches as LaBeouf cuts across the middle of the field, very similar to the previous play to Bradley. And I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They'll stay with the same play as long as it keeps working.
And Plymouth in the man-to-man situation, but it looks like Giard needs some help on the inside, and the other cornerback, Hansen, on the other side. Looks like they need some help either with the linebackers dropping back, playing sort of an inside zone, or maybe a bump at the line of scrimmage, but the wide receivers, both LaBeouf and Bradley, have had all kinds of room. And of course, as the play usually is in a situation like that, we've got Lowell on a hold. They're going to take it back 15 yards, and the play will start from the 35. They're back in right around where this drive started. Actually a little bit farther up, but 1st and 25, 2:15 left in the first half. Rizzo's on the draw. Goes over to the 35-yard line and then draws a crowd. Hansen, Cloutier, Williston, and a host of others. Number 25, Chris Melia, first time in the ball game, first time he's carried the ball. You can tell by the whiteness of his uniform. Usually returns punts. Haven't seen him on punts today.
Lowell running a few new fresh faces in there to try and get some rest, a little bit of extended halftime activity for their starters. get some fresh legs in there and see if they can take this drive into the end zone with 1:38 remaining as the clock is running.
Amelia picked up 4 yards in the play, 2nd and 21. Rizzo's back to pass. They're flood in the middle. Here comes the draw to Kamujian. He runs into another penalty flag. Looks like we got a clip right there at about the 35-yard line, number 79. The big right tackle as he pulled out on the play, and that is Chris Reardon. John Morley was right there in the action and made the tackle, fought off the clip.
Looks like he caught Giard a little bit ahead, and you were talking about a serious size disadvantage right there for Giard as Reardon goes 6'2", 250, about a 75-pound advantage right there. Giard's trying to shake off the effects of that hit right now, clutching his hamstring a little bit.
Okay, a big discussion around the ball. There's four sets of zebras right there. And Plymouth, I guess, playing around with deciding what they're going to do. Do they want it? The decision here is with 1:25 left in the half, and what would now be a 3rd and probably 21, that they want to see if they can get just, don't think Lowell will get the first down, take the punt, save some time, and see if they can get a little bit of action, or do they want to push them back and maybe fight the field position battle?
Well, they're giving them another down now by taking the penalty at 2nd down, and geez, it's going to be 2nd down and 35 right now. They are moving them back this way, but the clock is running, and Lowell's probably going to be content to run the clock out now. It is 2nd down.
Plymouth has all its timeouts, though. So we approach 1 minute to go in the half. Another penalty flag, another clock stop. That kind of worked out. 1:05 left in the half. Looks like there was motion on the play. Vince Spinelli in the game only for about his 2nd time. He was in motion on the play at that point.
The only ones that weren't moving on that play were the officials. Mark it off another 5-yarder against Lowell. That will put them back inside, right just on the 20-yard line, their own 20. They're continuing their rearward movement here. 1:05 remaining in the 2nd period. Again, it seems like they're going to run the clock out just by doing this. Clock running again.
I'd call a timeout. The trend in managing the clock now is the defense calling the timeout and let the offense manage the clock by stopping the ball. They're not going to do it. Lowell's going to be content. Over to Derek Ross in the pitch. He cuts across the grain, dives over a big pile-up Roper there at about the 25-yard line, takes up to about the 27. And I think we got a timeout called by Plymouth with 44 seconds left in the half. Lowell's going to bring it out in the punt. That was a 3rd and 37 situation. And Oswald was also in on that tackle. Okay, with 44 seconds left in the half, we're going to take a break and we'll have more action. Lowell leads 14-0.
Where would you go if you were rich?
If I was driving, we'd go south in warm weather. And if he's driving, we'd go north in...
No, we'd go just plain north. That's all good country up there.
I would take my wife to Russia with me next week.
I'd get into my car and just drive off into the sunset and go wherever I could possibly go.
Well, it's 6 blocks south down the rotary traffic.
Pack up the band, take them to New Orleans, and on to Hawaii.
Isn't it fantastic to be rich?
We're back. Here comes the quick kick. Tim Byrne on the pitch from Rizzo. It's going to come down. Giard calls a fair catch, catches it. And I'm not sure if he was knocked down by the weight of the ball or if he just kind of fell down. But nice play by Lowell. Surprise, though, what they do is they give Plymouth it down a little bit quicker and gives them now 37 seconds. They run a play into the line, let it stop, and maybe they waste off another 10 seconds. So kind of a surprising play.
Well, by doing it on 3rd down, they eliminated the heavy rush that they would have had from Plymouth. That's the benefit of the quick kick, and it was well executed. It was well disguised, and you get the quarterback handling the ball to flip it back. Probably a little safer. You know, Plymouth would have come with the bombs if they did try and drop back in a traditional punt formation.
Speaking of bombs, with 37 seconds to go, Plymouth with the ball on the 44-yard line. They are going to go probably for the bomb and see if they can pick up a quick score. 3 wideouts to the left. And they flood down into the left, and Laundrie's looking deep. No, he comes back, and it looks like La Police dives a little bit short. I think that Carlo, number's a little bit in front of me, couldn't see it. It is Carlo, incomplete.
And that play looked like a little bit of touch football in the street. They had everybody available going out on the left side, and he did go for Carlo, the middleman. He did have the deep receiver, and he had the short man. Carlo kind of trapped that ball, though, on the short hop. And
another penalty flag on the play. Looks like a hold as they start to mark it off. And Plymouth really has had problems with penalties here in the first half of the ball game. 31 seconds left in the half, and I have to tell you, this has been the longest 3 minutes that I have ever seen in my entire life. A lot of penalties, a lot of passes, and some of the best action so far. 31 seconds to go in the second quarter. Plymouth trails by 14, and they are faced with first and a whole lot of yards, 33. Make that 26. Now the wideouts, they're flooding to the right, and there's, who do we have to the left? We've got Fountain to the left, and Laundrie is looking deep over the middle of the field, and that once again went to Carlo and was overthrown, went into another area where, who was down there? Number 15. It's a new number, first time in the ball game, and they must have pulled him out of the locker room because his name isn't on mine. Well, yes, it is. Mark Burke. Sorry.
From Hooksett out of Central New Hampshire High School, pardon me, Central High School in Manchester, New Hampshire, the Hooksett resident.
My apologies to the Burks. But now Plymouth faced with the second, scoreboard is wrong, 3rd and 27. 2nd and 27, check that. And got a little bit more conservative formation. Friedman the single back, and they're going to go to him up the middle. And a little bit of a room right away, but a lot of good close on the part of Damaris. And who else was down there in the play? Medwar was there, as well as number 99, new number for us, Joe Chacho on the play. First time we had a chance to call his name. Nice job. And the clock is just going to run out here. And there it is, the end of the first half. UMass Lowell really took control in the last 7 minutes to grab a 14-0 lead. And we will have more action here. We're going to come back and summarize things, but we're going to take a break first, so stay with us.
Sports Channel, turn us on, and here's what you'll see. The Sports Channel Pro Boxing Tour. From Atlantic City to Las Vegas and everywhere in between, we'll bring you the matches that pit the toughest professional boxers against each other. Be it lightweight, middleweight, or heavyweight, challenger, contender, or champion, these fighters know how to take a punch and how to send their opponent to the canvas. It's all on the Pro Boxing Tour. That's what you'll get when you turn on Sports Channel. Here's what's happening this October on Sports Channel. The Hartford Whalers kick off the first month of the season with 9 games, both home and on the road. We have over 20 college football games, including a live telecast of the Harvard Holy Cross game. The Canadian Football League is storming along with 4 live matchups. And don't forget Eddie Annelman's Tuesday Night Football. It's football, fun, and more. The Boston Celtics preseason gets rolling with a matchup against the Utah Jazz. It's all in October on Sports Channel.
Welcome back here at halftime, John. Two games really in the first half. A pretty evenly matched game until about with both teams moving the football, and then with about 7 minutes to go, Lowell took the game over. I think the field position battle finally took its toll on Plymouth.
The field position battle was won by Lowell largely because Plymouth, the Panthers had become their own worst enemy. They've committed so many penalties that they've taken themselves out of some good drives. Lowell was able to capitalize with that one steady drive, but of course the play of the game thus far is the spectacular punt return, the razzle-dazzle play where Scott Boyle made the pass over to Trent Bartlett. Bartlett ran it in from about 65 yards out. That's the real difference in the game. Otherwise, we're looking at a 7-0 game that's very winnable for Plymouth. Now they're down 14-0, and they've got a long way to go.
What kind of emotional toll does it take on an inexperienced team when you get a dagger to the heart like that lateral by the Lowell?
And it was a dagger to the heart. It's a devastating play because this rivalry is so intense. We've mentioned that these kids are generally from the Eastern Mass area. A lot of them have played against one another in high school or even with one another. And so now you're looking at a 14-0 deficit in front of a homecoming crowd. They're in the locker room talking to themselves right now.
And very quickly, it's going to really change what a 7-0 game is a lot different than a 14-0 game, and it's going to change what Plymouth has to do here in the second half.
Jeff Wickham has to come out and gamble with his offensive strategy. He has to take some chances and put some points on the board. It gets a little bit risky, but you're down 14-0. You have no choice.
Okay, we're going to come back a little while later and have some more talk about what Plymouth, the adjustments that they can make going into the second half. But first, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back.
Randy Travis, he's the best.
Still the real things are
What a voice.
Hello.
Hi.
It's when you found the real thing.
Think he's as cute in person? Uh-huh. What I wouldn't give to meet a guy like him. Hey, Julie, want to ring up this Coca-Cola Classic?
Thank you. Can't beat the real thing.
Welcome back to Curry Memorial Field here at halftime of the UMass Lowell Plymouth State College game. UMass Lowell leads it 14-0 in a game they really took control of in the last 7 minutes of the second half. Of course, we've had a lot of talk about football today, but at a college here on the campus of Plymouth State, in the student side of the student-athlete phrase, there's a lot of kids up there have some other things on their mind outside of the sporting side of the college, and we had a chance to talk to them. We went up across the river up to the main mall area earlier this week and had a conversation with 4 very likable co-eds here, our students here at Plymouth State College.
I found that this is an incredible place to learn. I think New England in general has an attitude that commands, I wouldn't say commands respect, but there's a certain attractiveness about New Englanders and New England in general. This past week I went to a convention in Georgia, and I found a lot of different people there. I've been to California, and they're a lot more laid back, and New Englanders are doers.
I believe I've matured a lot, taken on a lot more responsibility. I also play lacrosse here, so I really don't have a time where I just can sit around. I'm always doing some kind of activity. But one thing about Plymouth State is they really care about your academics also. That's usually the philosophy in Division III school. You're usually a student first and athlete second.
James, what's the biggest issue facing students on campus today?
I would have to say the how difficult it is to persevere through 4 years or however long you go to college, whether it be for a master's degree or a doctorate degree. The perseverance is probably the best attribute you can have. You really need to persevere, and it's the people who do that. You don't have to be the smartest person or the person who has the highest scores on a test. If you want to persevere and you really want to succeed, Plymouth State will give you that chance. We're the first generation of college students who are not guaranteed a job, and I think that's one of the biggest differences, is that we really have to struggle more, we have to strive more, and look harder for things like employment, getting a good job, and the standards that colleges are setting is going up even more. It's increasing year by year. It's harder to get into colleges, so the students of today, the people who attend college now, really have their work cut out for them when they get here, and before they get here, and after they finish.
The best part of school was going from, as a freshman, insecure and not in any organizations, to a junior and a senior, in charge of 3 organizations and 6 others, actively holding 3 jobs and 18 credits. I mean, it's just, you pile on things, and you get to the point where you can do more. You can budget your time, and you can say, wait, I'm going to be able to handle all this, not just my course load, not just sit in my room. I can take on these other responsibilities and further my understanding of everything in the world.
I really had a hard time in reading and some academic things in elementary school, and it was very difficult for me. I was born with one hand, and I was in a lot of special needs classes and stuff like that. I really felt separated from everybody else, and I'd like to see that change for other students who are handicapped in some way or another. So I think I can make a difference there for them.
Do you think you're a trendsetter with your interest in public service or issues, or do you think does that reflect kind of a general student attitude, or at least a move toward that?
I hope I'm a trendsetter. I hope that by having a goal that would be considered high by a lot of people's standards, a lot of other people will say, geez, maybe I'd like to serve the public too, and maybe I'd like to set a high goal and go after it.
I've always had a sense of obligation to give something back to the community, back to society. And through education, I think I can be there for a lot of kids. I think it's really tough out there, and they need someone who cares about them, who's willing to put their life's efforts towards them to help them have a chance to get somewhere in their lives.
And there you have it from up on the other side of campus, and they had some interesting things to say. And it was a nice chat, and next game we have, we're going to take a look and talk to some of the football players. But that's it here at halftime. We're going to take a break and come on back. Lowell leads it 14-0.
No other sport, professional or otherwise, can match the grassroots excitement, intensity, and spirit of high school football. Each week, Sports Channel updates you on all the big games throughout the region as New England High School Football Weekly returns for its 4th exciting year. Join Peter Gay every Thursday at 6 p.m. and Friday at 5:30 as he brings you the scores, the highlights, and the inside stories that make high school football New England's #1 sport.
Coming up after the Hartford Whalers game next Tuesday is going to be the Eddie Endelman Family Football Show here on Sports Channel. I'm not going to be here, but Mike Dowling from Channel 5 is going to be filling in. And, of course, we'll have great guests for you, including Hugh Millen, the starting quarterback of the New England Patriots, Ron Hobson, Kevin Mannix, and, of course, the humble one, Ron Borges. Now, let me also tell you, the big treat, we're going to have the entire Mormon Tabernacle Choir here. We're going to put on a punting exhibition. Don't you miss it.
Welcome back to Ski 93 territory here in Plymouth, New Hampshire. The third quarter is about to begin. University of Lowell leads Plymouth State College 14-0, and they're going to get the ball back, so that's insult to injury. And, John, we had what looks like, off the stats anyway, a pretty balanced first half.
It was balanced in terms of offensive plays, offensive yardage, passing completions, pretty much 6 per team. The big difference, I guess, is in the penalty column. Plymouth penalized 7 times for 79 yards, stalled a couple of drives. The memorable plays from Plymouth in the first half, unfortunately, are negative ones. We had the drop pass by Doug Cantrell that could have been a touchdown. We also had the long scramble by Laundry that was called back by the clipping penalty. So again, Plymouth's 2 memorable plays in that half were negative. Lowell, on the other hand, is coming off the emotional lift from that razzle-dazzle punt return, in which Boyle and Bartlett combined for about a 65-yard touchdown return. And now the Panthers have to give the ball back to Lowell, as you said, Dave, with a 14-0 deficit. A long way to go back for the Panthers.
Of course, the big question is we credited the original pass in the lateral to Michael O'Donnell and gave up his number 3 uniform to Boyle, and whatever happened to O'Donnell? Here comes the kickoff from Jay Chabot. It's going down the left-hand side. Looks like Dana Maxwell, number 30, got a good hit on the official who goes down. Much to the delight of the crowd. It's kind of a sadistic tendency in crowds around America. They like to see the officials go down. But ball goes out of bounds at about the 12-yard line, and Lowell is going to ask for a re-kick.
Nice recovery. Bounces right back up. You got to like the conditioning on these officials here. Obviously, they've been preparing for this game this week, too.
But Jay Chabot actually looks like they're going to take the ball. And they're going to get it on the 35-yard line. No re-kick. Jay the Toe Chabot, been around, seems like, for about 100 years here at Plymouth. No relation to Lou the Toe Groza, by the way. That's right. Lowell gets the ball, and I got to think it'd be pretty damaging to Plymouth's chances if they came out, took it down the field, and brought it out to 21-0.
They had made some nice adjustments to counter Lowell's running game, but now Lowell was taking that pass over the middle. See what they do second half.
Started off in the left tackle, Machado is weaving through traffic, and he's wide open, and he has got one man to beat. He is down the sideline to the 20. He is going to go all the way for a touchdown, and that is exactly what happens. It is now 20-0 by Lowell. Machado broke out of a pack, took it down the sidelines, and Plymouth is in deep trouble at 20-0.
Great job by the left side of the offensive line for Lowell. Russ Williams and Jeff Benjamin with some great inside tight blocking. The handoff comes to Machado. Here's, you said, Dave, slides off to the left, gaping hole in the Plymouth defense, and just takes off down the sideline. At this point, there's only one man with a chance to catch him. That's John Morley. Morley gives up the chase, and the last-minute dive by P.J. Hansen was for naught. And now Plymouth is down 20-0. Lowell setting up for the extra point.
And the defensive coaches can't be happy. Pretty shoddy tackling on the play. 3 missed tackles right in and around that line of scrimmage area. Machado just burst out, and then it was a race down the sidelines. The kick hits the goalpost and bounces back toward the crowd, and Plymouth gets a break, but they need a bigger break than that. 20-0. We're going to take a look, I believe, at another replay. There's a shot of Machado,
who's trying to catch a little bit of his breath here. It has warmed up again. Machado going off tackle. Another miss right there.
2 missed by Cole, a third, but that was a little bit late by and there he goes right down the sideline, and Hansen comes diving in at the end. Caraciola took a dive. He really didn't have a miss on that. Came from the far side of the field, but Plymouth really digs himself a hole now. as they have got to come back from 3 touchdowns down.
Machado,
What do you do?
Machado just picked up more yardage in that play than Lowell had gained on the ground in their last 3 games. In any one of their last 3 games, it seems that they've found the cure for their offensive ailment right here on the field at Courier Memorial Field.
And they have avoided what would be, for the first time, they have gone without gaining 100 yards 4 games in a row, dating back to last season, and it would have been the first time ever that they'd been held to 5 games in a row. So they have averted that. They are, or at least pretty, yeah, they have passed their over 100-yard mark finally. There goes an end-over-end kick to La Police. He's got it at about the 4, backing up. He's got some room. It's going to be a middle return, and there goes a big pile-up. A lot of guys. Number 36, Travis Welsh, on the play, kind of dove from about 5 yards away, landed on La Police's back, and just rode him down to the turf. Nice recovery, good closing speed on the part of Welsh.
And good emotion shown by the Lowell team. We talked about the psychological intensity here today. Lowell certainly in a dominant position right now, but they started the game that way. The 3 co-captains they sent out to take the toss before the game, Jeff Benjamin, Scott Dimitri, and Joe Chacho, were all transfers from Plymouth State. So there was a psychological message sent early, and right now, again, Lowell is in that dominant position psychologically.
Plymouth has really, I think, got to come out and make a statement right here. Get the H-back over to Boston, the misdirection right up the middle. He's got a little bit of room. He's over the 25-yard line and then pushed back. Plymouth started this drive from about the 23, so they're going to pick it up with a 3, maybe a 4-yard gain. They're going to spot it at the 26. Scott Boyle, there he is, that guy again, number 3, passes or throws long laterals, I guess is the best way to say it, and he was in on the play there. I think one of the areas, John, that Plymouth has a chance to move the ball. They threw into the flats to the running backs after they took the wide receivers, took the zone deep. There's a lot of room there. Okay, single setback is Bost, remains in the game. He had the big run in the first half. They're going to give it to him again, and he is driven down right in the backfield by the All-American number 58, David Medwar. He, of course, had the big week last week, ECAC budget defensive player of the game, and he's making a bid for it again.
Not much room here for Bost, who had some luck in the first half. Wedmeyer is on him as soon as the ball was placed into his gut by Laundry. No gain. Big loss there for the Panthers, trying to get some offense going. They're now looking at a 3rd and 9.
Nobody laid a body on Medwar there. It must have been the misdirection. Somebody pulled out. Okay, Plymouth 3rd and about 8 yards. Laundry back to pass, rolling right. He's being pursued, gets rid of it, and he's got Wilson's. Great play, good catch by the big fullback. He takes it up over the 50, and I'll tell you what, you don't usually see big running backs with hands as soft as that to make that play. Beautiful play, and once again, the running backs have success catching the ball out of the backfield. Encarnacio, the cousins Encarnacio twins made the play.
Rizzo's rolling to his right in this case, to his left, his strong hand, wrong hand, turns, throws against his body, and there you see the nice hands by Wischelns to have him pull that ball in. As you said, David, nice extension, good hands, big first down for Plymouth.
Okay, Wischelns in motion over to Friedman on the left. He cuts back against the grain. He's got some room. Takes it over about the 45-yard line to about the 44. And Plymouth's going to have, that's about a 6-yard gain. Nice running by Matt Friedman as he kind of wove through traffic. Trent Bartlett, number 9, came up from the deep safety spot to make the tackle.
Pressure's on Plymouth right now. They really have to get something out of this drive, and you're going to look for a little bit of mix-up on this, a little bit of run, a little bit of pass, try and keep Lowell guessing. And by mixing up their plays, I think they can capitalize on the players they have out on the field.
See if the play to Wischelns gave them a little bit of a lift. Single setback in the backfield. There's a misdirection of Wischelns, and he is grabbed by Medwar, number 58, who was on the right side of the field that time, dragged him down for no gain. Fought off a block on the left-hand side. Nice job by Medwar.
And he's a big guy. He's like 6'3", 235. See now as they get the ball to Wischelns on the misdirection play, he sees there's nothing there as Wedmeyer is fighting off the block. Really overmatched in that case with the running back trying to hold him off. Just spotted off and was able to put through and break into the defensive end.
A little slow developing in that play as well. Wide outs to the left and right. Strong side of the field is La Police. Long count. Landry straight back to pass. Medwar's got pressure. He's out of that, and he falls down. Thought he stumbled out of it for a second, but actually hit the left leg of the left tackle who was trying to fight off Medwar, and tripped him up as Landry went down.
Jamie Damaris and Dave George in a hand fight here, trying to get position. George trying to protect his quarterback, was unable to do it, knocked off the play right here, and as you can see, Landry was fighting real hard to regain his balance, just couldn't do it, went down. 4th and about 16 or 17 for Plymouth, so they have to give it away again.
Giard in the punt. Back to Boyle and Bartlett. End over end, going to come up short. Boyle is going after it. Looks like he picks it up, and he is dropped immediately. Good pursuit on the play by the wide receiver, number 82, La Police, who just chased it down and made the play. Bob Bost was down there on the play as well, and to clean up and see if any of the Boyle had been able to escape, but he wasn't. Ball goes down about a 10-yard line. This is the first time Lowell's been in the hole, it seems like, the whole game.
Very risky play by Boyle on that case to try and pick up the rolling ball so deep in his own end. He's getting a bit of a tongue lashing on the sidelines now from the coaching staff. I think they would rather have seen that just roll dead rather than take the gamble.
Of course, that's the kind of a play he made the long lateral on the last time. Okay, Rizzo's on the same play that went for the touchdown. Machado thought for a second, looked like he had a little bit of room, but that was closed down very fast by Jeff Jarry on the right-hand side as Machado's tried to bump to the outside.
Great play by Jeff Jarry to fight off the block, too. He straightened up the offensive blocker and just stayed there and got engaged in a hand fight with him, was able to pull out and then stop Machado before he could get outside. Machado's showing a real good, I guess a real good nose for that opening now. He's well over the 100-yard mark, and he has been Lowell's leading rusher. We're seeing why right now.
Vince Spinelli comes in at wide receiver for LaBeouf. He brings in the play with a single set in the backfield. Rizzo's is back to pass, almost by the end zone, and there he throws one in to Bradley. Looked like it, they're going to give him a catch. Looked to me like it bounced on the way in, but Bradley did a good job, got his arms right down on the ground, cradled as it came in.
We've mentioned that he is the all-time leading receiver at UMass Lowell, and we're seeing why. Nice receiver's move, goes down and protects the ball with his body to keep Ryan Cole away from the ball. Ryan Cole was a safety coming up. Plenty of time for Rizos again, lays it right in there. And again, you see Bradley with a nice play to protect the ball, pick up a big first down for Lowell.
Lowell takes it out to about the 27, 1st and 10, over to Machado, runs off left tackle, cuts it inside, and is stacked up. Jarry is in on the play. Roper, number 23, Matt Carciola, excuse me.
A little help right there. Machado tangled up in the pile. Wasn't going to leave him there for long when his offensive lineman, Russ Williams, gave him the very, very physical lift up off the ground. Going to take care of Machado. He's been doing the job for them. His linemen are going to look out for his welfare all day long.
Picked up 3 or 4. Plymouth really has to shut this down. They've got to get some business done here in the defensive end so they can pick up field position. 2nd down and 7. Machado got 3 in the play, and Rizos went over center and then came out, took a timeout. So with the score 20-0 in favor of UMass Lowell over the Panthers at Plymouth State College, we're going to take a break, but we'll be back.
There are many choices open to you. There are over 50 academic programs, including teacher education, business, liberal arts, and sciences. And each one is an adventure. Dr. David Switzer and his students dive down to the wreck of the Stella Marion, a sunken steamer in Newfound Lake. Monique Sanders spent last summer and part of this winter atop Mount Washington, gathering weather data. Plymouth's meteorology program is the only one in the state of New Hampshire.
Armed with a presidential order,
Jim Kortovich followed his interest in politics to a prestigious LBJ scholarship, working as an intern in Washington.
What part of our body do we hear with? Kevin?
Ear.
The ear, that's right.
Suzanne Peralta is a senior completing her teaching program with an internship as a student teacher in the 3rd grade at Campton Elementary School. And this is Seymour. Seymour's experience at Plymouth State College is pretty simple. He presses the right button and gets some food. But every move he makes is part of a complex pattern being studied by these psychology students.
Rizos to Machado, runs it out over right tackle, just short of the 40-yard line. They continue to pound away as they slant from the tailback position left and right and continue to make good yardage. Bring it up short, and it may have been a first down, certainly very close, as Machado brings it up to about the 38-yard line. And from the angle that we sit, John, it looks like a first down.
They are going to measure. Officials giving it a good look, but why be uncertain when you've got the chains to run out there? Lowell probably going to get a little more conservative now and keep the ball on the ground. They want to keep the clock moving. 9:06 remaining in the third period. They're nursing a 20-0 lead, and you might as well keep that safe as much as you can. Keep the Plymouth defense on the field, something that Lou DeLoges wanted to avoid. He wanted to keep his offense on the field, keep his young defense sitting and rested. Lowell has kind of reversed that strategy for him by just keeping these nice offensive drives on the move.
And of course, the big question, or what was considered to be the weakness for both teams, or it has been early in the season, the running game for Lowell and the running defense for Plymouth. We've seen the victor in that battle has been Lowell, who they have been able to move the ball, and now they're using, I think, their superior size in the offensive line to wear Plymouth down. And I think, as you're absolutely correct, they're going to move the ball on the ground a lot more. Machado, the deep man in the backfield. Rizzo's back to pass. Little roll to the right. He's looking downfield. Bradley is behind P.J. Hansen, and the ball bounces out. Nice job by Ryan Cole to come over and put on the double team from his deep safety spot to break up the play. But the coaching staff in Plymouth and the people here at the homecoming crowd, I think we're holding their breath a little bit on that one.
Rizzo's had plenty of time once again. I think the Plymouth line is looking for the run, as we were discussing just a moment ago. So when Rizzo's takes the snap here and rolls into action, he's got plenty of time. Look at him look downfield. Got the long pass and going to his favorite receiver, as you said, Ryan Cole, with a nice bit of help there to save Hansen, and that knocked down the pass. But we have not seen Bradley miss many of those. It took double coverage to take him away from that one.
Okay, here comes the play to the right. Nice job by, check that, Matt Caraciola came in from the right cornerback spot and slowed down the play. We had, again, they continued to try and run it to the right. Derek Ross in the deep tailback spot had taken it.
Caraciola with good penetration on this play. He sees it coming right away. Bell tries to make a move. Caraciola, not making a mistake, takes him down in the backfield. A small loss on the play, but more importantly, Caraciola trying to motivate the Plymouth crowd after the tackle, see if he can get an emotional lift from them.
Vince Spinelli now in the backfield, kind of an odd position. He's been a wideout for most of the game. Rizzo's back to pass, and there he goes. Rizzo's goes down in the middle of traffic, and that was from the outside rush from Plymouth State on the defense, number 56 on the play. On the outside rush, Chris Healy did a nice job, beat the left-hand tackle, as you see coming on from the left-hand side.
Rizzo's just can't set up in the pocket. He thinks he's got a little bit of time, had no chance. He got the swing around tackle on that one, got spun to the ground.
And then it collapsed on top of him.
Now Lowell's going to have to give it away. Charlie Sheeran back in punt formation. Low snap.
And he had to hurry to get it out. Did a pretty good job of getting it out of traffic like that after the fumble. So it crosses midfield and goes out in the 49-yard line. And Plymouth finally has a chance with some good field position for a change. And really try and take the result, see if they can punch it in across the end zone. I don't think a field goal is going to do them much good at this stage. There's 7:15 left here in the third quarter. Lowell, as you see, leads it by 20 and is in control. Plymouth, no real changes. It's a tough spot, conversely to where the offensive coordinators are for Lowell right now. Tough spot for the people calling the plays for Plymouth. They have got to get something going. I think the openings are the short passes to the wideouts.
The other stuff, you can see Lowell's playing for the long ball now. They just don't want to give up the touchdown, so he's going to have to look inside.
And there you go over the middle. Carlo, nice over-crossing route. And again, it was inside the zone. He just found the seam. And Laundrie, I think those are the passes that Laundrie is the mid-range passes he is most effective. He zipped the ball right inside as you take a look at the replay. He's back to pass, and there's good protection here. Right in the middle of your screen, he zips it right over there on the crossing route in between two people to Carlo, and he takes it across the 35-yard line down to about the 34. 1st and 10 for State. With Shellens in motion to the right, pitch to the left of Boss, and he avoids some people, and he can't bring him down. Kind of rendered me speechless there for a second. I couldn't figure out what he was doing. Went left, fought back to the right, and Lowell did a nice job of staying in the lanes. Lowell did a nice job of staying in the lane. Encarnacio with the tackle. Linebacker Joe Encarnacio.
Boss with a lot of movement there. Probably ran about 30 yards on the play to get back to the line of scrimmage. Boss, the Portsmouth, New Hampshire native, showing some of his moves, but unfortunately all of them in his own backfield.
And good pursuit by a number of players. Murata Giuseppe was another one who followed, and Lowell also did a nice job of staying in their lanes. Laundry back to pass, looking to the outside to Cantrell, delivers it right on the hands, and Cantrell catches it and takes it over the 25, and that is their bread and butter. Takes it, I think, to about the 23-yard line. And Plymouth continues to move the ball when they stick to that short to medium range passing.
Cantrell breaking out into the flat, and as you said, David, making the catch. You see Laundry with a nice look, the long out pass, and he not only catches the ball, he also catches a pretty good shot in the head from Dan Shanahan as he goes out of bounds.
First catch by Cantrell, as memory serves me correctly. Plymouth has it down to the 21-yard line.
Officials trying to determine the spot on the ball.
John Hannon coming into the game in hasty fashion, replacing Ted Anagas, who was running off for some reason, wasn't called off by the coaches. There's a personal foul now as Plymouth moves it up to about, maybe that shot to the head. Penalty, didn't see it, but Plymouth has the ball on the 11. They got two guys in the backfield. The I formation, the Friedman, he's looking left. A lot of white shirts there. Cuts inside, takes it down with a nifty run. Fought off 2 or 3 white shirts, gets it inside the 5-yard line, takes it down to about the 3.
Nice work on the defense, on the offensive blocking formation here with Plymouth. They're trying to keep the ball on the ground, a little safety here, but Friedman does most of the work. Once he gets that little opening, he slipped about 3 tackles right there. That's his real strength. He's a slashing, slippery runner, showed his stuff inside the 10. Plymouth now with the second down, probably on about the 4-yard line.
When they're in this situation, they go to the power I, 3 men in the backfield. Boston's the deep back. They're going up the gut again. Boss got it, and he looks like he goes... No signal yet from this angle. Looks like he got it over. I guess not. Going to be stopped at around. Got to be inside the 1-yard line. And it's going to be 3rd down for State. 3rd down and about on the 1-yard line. They got to go. This is 4th down territory or 4-down territory, especially at this juncture in the game with just 5 minutes left in the 3rd period when they're down by 20. Once again, the power I backfield. Boss stays in the game. They're going with the bigger back. Laundry over center. Everything packed in tight. And it goes to Wishelms. And again, big pileup. Doesn't look like he got in there. They really didn't move the pack back. Lowell doing a good job of standing up the offensive linemen. And we're going to see our first 4th and attempt to go for the 4th down, or go for it on 4th down. That is 4th and 1. Plymouth has got to come away with something here. Biggest play of the game so far. And they're at the 1. Lowell packs it in. A couple of new real white shirts in there for Lowell. About the quarterback sneak that worked for Lowell in the first time. Laundry on the pitch back to Bost, who's going to cut back in and take it. Gutsy call. And it looked like they weren't going to get in, but Bost with a nice cutback to elude the penetration of, I believe it was Medwar. I'll have to check it. But he cut back inside, took it in. Plymouth gets on the board, 20-6.
Bost with a nice one-handed stab as well. A little bit of rollout action here, trying to spread the defense. Laundry breaks to his left, and just a high pitch and a nice catch by Boston. Real dangerous territory. A fumble there could have been very costly for Plymouth, not only in terms of not scoring, but maybe giving up a touchdown to Lowell. He made the nice play, cut in, and now Plymouth is on the board, looking to make it 20-7 here.
Of course, Giuseppe, the cornerback, did the job. He turned him inside, not let him get wide, but there was no help coming back, and Bost took it in.
If you're looking down the road here toward the end of the game, we do have that missed extra point by Tim Byrne from Lowell. So now Jay the Toe Chabot has a chance to get his first extra point of the day, and it could be a big one because every extra point at this time has ramifications toward the end of the game.
And of course, there's no point at this moment to go for 2 because even Plymouth is going to need 3 scores, 3 touchdowns to win this ball game, or get a chance to win this ball game. So they just need 3 sevens. 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points gives them 16. The field goal will not get them to 20. Showing my prowess as a former math student.
Let's take a break.
Okay, there's a kind of a confusion here down before the extra point. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. Plymouth trails 20-6 to Lowell.
You know, every time I tell people about a great deal they can get on a Chevy, they can't resist. They want to hug me. But this time, I'm not taking any chances. Because it's your Chevy dealer's biggest event of the year.
The Chevy year-end clearance sale. To make room for the 93s, we're offering generous cashback deals, smart lease programs, and special incentives on all 92 Chevy cars and trucks in stock. Over 10,000 to choose from.
Who can resist? Oh, no. I should have known this was going to happen.
See your neighborhood Chevy dealer today.
Finally set to go for the extra point. The ball is down, the kick is up, and it looks like it's wide to the left, no good. And that is not the medicine Plymouth needed as they're coming back and they're trying to get back in the ball game. Score stays 20-6. Take a look at the replay of the touchdown again. The fake inside is the thing that froze the defenders, and Boss, as you can see, made the nice cutback, but Laundrie was Shellens on the nice inside dive fake, and that was really that was the big thing that freed Boss to get it into the end zone.
I think Trent Bartlett from Lowell is probably talking to himself on the sidelines right now. He was standing right there when the ball went right before his eyes. I think he had designs on taking Laundrie down. Instead, he let the ball slip right in front of him. Boss was able to make the nice grab and carry it into the end zone.
Now, with the miss of the extra point at 26, I don't think there's any doubt that Plymouth scores again, and now they're going to have to go for two. So, I mean, it hurts Plymouth, but it isn't. Isn't a death knell by any means.
No, it
I love that. I love the two-point rule. They should go to the NFL, I think, to let them try it.
Nice story in Sports Illustrated this week. The point after, in fact, should be renamed the 2 points after, according to the author, who likes the two-point conversion in college.
Chabot sends it down. Milia's got it. And he's off to the left-hand side. He's got one guy to beat as he takes it down. But nice job by La Police, who stayed in his lane and drags down Chris Milia inside the 25-yard line, and it looked to me, John, like he had a lot of running room out there on the left-hand side.
Boy, that looked like a high noon showdown. You had La Police standing right there holding his ground. Milia throwing every move in the book at him. La Police didn't flinch, didn't go for his gun. He waited until the last second to make his move and was able to stop Milia.
And I got a big surprise for you, John. There's a penalty flag down in the field about the 40-yard line, and Lowell is walking backward. So it looked like going to be marched off against them. Talking to Plymouth about their options, but I'm not quite sure what the options would be in this situation. Personal foul. They protect the identity of the player in the college game.
That's right.
In the pros, I mean, those referees get up there and they just tell the entire nation who the offending guy was. But the ball settles down at about the 11, so this is another break for Plymouth. Again, they've got good defensive field position. So see if they can do something with it. 3:51 left here in the third quarter. Lowell up by 14 over arch rival Plymouth State College. Rizzo's over center, single backfield, goes to Machado. He runs his bread and butter play off left tackle and gets absolutely nowhere. Plymouth makes a nice adjustment. Tackled by John Barry, number 75. And they have pretty much had a pretty good job of shutting it down, other than the one, the other death knell run by Machado, and he just bounced off left tackle, took it down the sideline for a touchdown run to give Lowell that commanding 20-0 lead. Plymouth in the since has come back. Okay, looks like we have got 2nd and 25, no gain in that play. Going to be interesting to see what Rizzo's does. Wideouts left and right. They're going to Machado again to the right-hand side, playing conservative. Take it over the 15-yard line to the 17-yard line. And P.J. Hansen, who's seen a lot of action from that left cornerback spot, is the guy who puts the original hit on Machado as he goes down and picks up 5 yards in the play. Lowell, John, a little bit more conservative here as time ticks away in the third period.
I think that Plymouth touchdown has kind of forced their hand in terms of playing in a more conservative style, Dave. They're going to want to eat up the clock now, keep the ball on the ground. 2:40 and counting here remaining in the third period. Nothing they'd like to see better than to accelerate that clock.
Okay, go to the passing formation. LaBeouf and Bradley both to the right. LaBeouf in the slot. 2 men in the backfield. And he's rolling right. Rizzo slot. Jerry from way on the right-hand side. He came a mile to get Rizzo's from the blind side and really delivered the blow. Good job by Rizzo's to hold on to the ball as he took a belt in the back.
Amazing job by Rizzo's to hold on to the ball. Completely blindsided, and I think his arm had just started to move forward. Impossible to hang on to, but he did. Jerry comes behind untested as Rizzo's rolls to his right. He starts to set up, and boom, Jerry hits him with a big, big hit.
Somebody check that guy for Stickham. How did he hold on? Sharon is punting it out of the end zone. And here comes a familiar sight. 3 penalty flags on the play. And Plymouth, this is a chance they want to get. They can get 2 back if they can block the punt in the end zone, get themselves to 8. But at the very least, they want Sharon to do it on that 1-step and get it out there. Problem with the 1-step, punt rather than the 3-step, you don't give your defenders a chance to get, or the linemen a chance to get downfield. And
right,
set yourself up in this kind of a situation. Plymouth is going to get the ball unless something bad really happens. Is going to get the ball inside the 40.
Sheeran has very little room to maneuver, though. He's up against the back line of the end zone as he prepares to make this punt. Not much margin for error.
Okay, Plymouth has 10 guys at the line of scrimmage, putting it on Sheeran. Blocked! In the end zone, Plymouth recovers for a touchdown! Although there's no signal yet. And there is a big pileup, but it looks pretty clear for me. Plymouth has got a touchdown on a huge play. The block, the touchdown by Sanborn, touchdown by Adam Hawks, number 55, I believe. And I'm not sure who got the block. It looked like it was Jerry, number 35.
Here we see, as we set up for the punt now, you watch coming in from your left side on the screen, Plymouth State linebacker, I believe it's Jeff Jerry, yes, again, gets a play, same position he came in from on the last play in which he sacked Rizzo. So it's Jeff Jerry coming in from his right outside linebacking position, makes the block. Not sure who got the recovery to be credited for the touchdown, but Jeff Jerry with a big punt block.
I can't believe Plymouth is going for the kick, and it's blocked. And he's got a chance to run it back, and it's Boyle. He'll probably throw a pass. He does. And now Giuseppe gets it. Takes it down the sideline. We're going to have to collect ourselves. Plymouth now back in the ball game, 20-8. They miss another extra point, though, down by 8. Let's take a break.
Outside this old world just keeps on.
Randy Travis, he's the best.
Still the real things are
What a
found.
voice.
Hello.
Hi.
It's when you found the real thing.
I think he's as cute in person. Uh-huh. What I wouldn't give to meet a guy like him. Hey, Julie, want to ring up this Coca-Cola Classic?
Think you can't beat the real thing.
Where would you go if you were rich?
If I was driving, we'd go south in warm weather. And if he's driving, we'd go north in...
No, we'd go just plain north. That's all good country up there.
I would take my wife to Russia with me next week.
I'd get into my car and just drive off into the sunset and go wherever I could possibly go.
Well, 6 blocks south down the rotary traffic.
Pack up the band, take them to New Orleans, and on to Hawaii.
Isn't it fantastic to be rich?
Sports Channel, turn us on, and here's what you'll see. The Sports Channel Pro Boxing Tour. From Atlantic City to Las Vegas and everywhere in between, we'll bring you the matches that pit the toughest professional boxers against each other. Be it lightweight, middleweight, or heavyweight, challenger, contender, or champion, these fighters know how to take a punch and how to send their opponent to the canvas. It's all on the Pro Boxing Tour. That's what you'll get when you turn on Sports Channel.
Brand new football game here at Plymouth State College. Plymouth is closed to an 8 with the block of a punt. Charlie Sheeran punt in the end zone. And still not sure who gets credited with the touchdown. But Plymouth getting ready to kick it off. Jay Sabot is back. He's coming into the ball. And he drills it off to the left-hand side. It's coming up short. Derek Ross bounces past him. Fumble. 2 guys from Lowell jumping the ball. And it looks like Charlie Melia or Murata Giuseppe, either one, jumped on it at the 20. Hairy moment for Dennis Scannell and his Lowell coaching staff as the momentum has clearly shifted to the green shirts.
Plymouth defense back on the field. Certainly they're going to be bolstered by the punt block that they just pulled off. This outfit right there is juice now. Jeff Jerry out back on his traditional linebacking spot on the outside is playing a whale of a game. That last series was maybe the best he's played all day. He's really pumped. He's trying to get his teammates into this game as well as he slides over to the extended side, to the weak side.
And we'll see if Lowell gets away from the conservative game they've had. Here comes Machado right up the middle over the 30-yard line. They just busted it up the gut, and Lowell's offensive line won the battle that time, stood Plymouth up, and Caraciola had to come in from the right-hand corner to make what could have been a touchdown-saving tackle.
Machado hits the line, and he's at full speed after 3 steps. He did have a lot of room, David. As you said, they kind of spread the Plymouth defense far enough, so once he broke through, he was in touchdown territory. Caracciolo with a nice saving tackle.
I'll tell you, this Lowell offense is a long way from the game when they had 4 yards on 30 carries against Coast Guard early in the season. Machado again to the right, over the 35 to the 37, tripped up inside number 53 in the Plymouth, who was it, 53, 55, Adam Hawks on the play, and also Mark Fisher, who's been big. He was the first guy, closest guy, almost picked up the ball in the end zone, but I think it squirted away from him, and we're still awaiting official word. Maybe Wade Boggs will call the press box and get it changed, I don't know. Okay, Rizzo's at the 37-yard line, 2 guys in the back, play fake, looking left, he goes over to LaBeouf, right in traffic, and he is drilled by number 36, Toby Cloutier, who would drop back in the zone from his inside linebacking position. And for a moment there, nice pass. I'm going to take a look at the replay. Watch the pass by Rizzo's right on the hands, but again, that's what happens when you throw it in the middle. If there's guys there, takes a hit right in the shoulder, and Giard almost came up with the interception on the ricochet.
Pass kind of hung up there just a little bit too long, and there's nothing you like less as a wide receiver. Mark LaBeouf probably knew he was going to take a lick from Toby Cloutier, and he did, knocking the ball loose.
Sorry, John. Time winding down here at the end of the third period. 34 seconds left. 2 guys in a multiple backfield. Rizzo straight back to pass, lofts it out in the flat to Spinelli. A lot of green shirts, and number 70 was the first guy to get there. Also, number 70, Dan Tappan. Drop back, nice job. He did it the right hand. If you see Tappan, he was the right tackle, drop back into the flat. Looks like a first down, though.
Rizzo's looking to his left, is able to float it out there to Spinelli, who does all the work right now. 3 or 4 different moves, and I think depending on the spot, that little bit of extra activity on his part might give Lowell the first down.
Yeah, that actually, Tappan didn't drop back into the flat. He went into the rush, and it was just a nice job of pursuit as Spinelli was bouncing back and forth trying to find some daylight. Tappan turned around and got back from inside the backfield and came and made the play. Machado right up the gut again. Another penalty flag. Machado bounces ahead to the 50-yard line, and he was tripped up in the pile. I think it might have been Mark Roper, the first guy to hit him.
I think we might have a hold on this call. Jeff Benjamin seemed to have Plymouth State defender in a bear hug on that one. Not sure who he had wrapped up. Looked to me like it may have been Keith Ferreira. But in any case, the officials are explaining the options to Giard, the Plymouth defensive captain. And we'll see what their options are. There are 8 seconds remaining here in the third period. Again, Lowell leading 20-12.
What is the official line where you pass it into, it's called a penalty-marred game. I think they've passed that one. But, you know, to reiterate, Plymouth, one of the things that was a trademark of teams when they really had high-scoring teams and good defensive teams, they had always had to deal with a lot of penalties. And part of that is their aggressive nature. And it seems it's here again, and they have played better here in the third period. Okay, that's the end of the third quarter. Lowell leads Plymouth 20-12. We'll have more small college football right after these messages.
If you're searching for a cool, refreshing experience, if you're looking for the real thing, then you've come to the right place. Coca-Cola Classic.
I see you got my message.
I see I'm not the only one.
Okay, back here at Courier Memorial Field to open the fourth quarter. Lowell with the ball are at the 35-yard line, and Plymouth State College Athletic Director Steve Bamford has stepped in to join us, and we're going to take the little bit of the game action with Steve. He's also the commissioner of the new Freedom Football Conference, which both Lowell and Plymouth have joined. Rizzo's back to pass, throws it over the middle, and it looks like Spinelli is hit by Cloutier, and Giard came from the left-hand side. Big hit. They're going to pick up about probably about 6 yards on the play, 7 yards on the play. And I'm going to take a look at the replay. Watch just the dump off. Rizzo's throws it. Little bit of footwork there, and there's Spinelli standing wide open and takes a couple of hits.
Well, he's been finding success all afternoon in that short game, that short passing game right over the middle.
Steve, Plymouth has kind of fought their way back here into the ball game. Looked kind of bleak to start the second half.
Well, they had a tough 5-minute stretch there in the second period, Dave, but I think they've come to play in the second half, and obviously Lou Deloge has instilled some confidence and motivation in them for the second half series.
Rizzo's back to pass. He launches it down in the sideline. Oh, almost picked off. Great coverage in the part of P.J. Hansen, who just stepped in front of Tom Bradley. And again, a lot of hitting off the shoulder pads today with balls going out of bounds. Steve, this the comeback here with Plymouth to get it within 20-12 is kind of indicative of the way things have been going in the inaugural season of the Freedom Football Conference.
Well, that's one of the reasons why we're so excited about the Freedom Football Conference, David, is because of the great competition throughout the conference from top to bottom. We think that on any given Saturday afternoon, any one of the conference teams can beat any other conference team.
And you can see here in the replay how Hansen's in perfect position, just steps in front, almost like a guy going for an offensive rebound, and just drops the ball. Here comes a delay to Machado, and a beautiful play, beautiful call as he takes it up above the 45-yard line, but way short of the first down. I should check myself. I said it was 2nd and 8, but actually it was 2nd and 12, and now we're going to go, actually it was 3rd and 12, but it will be, brings up a 4th down situation to about the 4th and 8, and Charlie Sheeran is in the ball game to punt it away to Giard, who's back, sole safety for Plymouth. Punts away, high angling kick to the left-hand side. Giard takes a fair catch, bounces it again. He's had some problems holding on to the football today. Bounces it up, and it comes down.
The Lowell bench was asking for a penalty on that play, I think, because he indicated that he wanted to make a fair catch, and then he ran with the football as soon as he caught the ball.
Now, the idea behind the Freedom Football Conference, Steve, the origins, we've got teams all the way down in New York and Stony Brook and in Western Connecticut and some good Massachusetts school. How did the whole idea come together?
Well, I think the evolution began back about 18 months ago when the 11 members of the 13-member football conference, New England Football Conference, decided to leave us, and that left UMass Lowell and Plymouth State without a conference to play in. And at that point in time, Wayne Edwards and myself got together with 6 or 7 other schools that had an interest in forming a conference. We went to the table and talked it over on a number of meetings. And eventually we all came together to form the new Freedom Football Conference that began play this fall.
Nice job by Bob Bosk as he bounced a playoff tackle outside, took it up for about an 8-yard run, just used his speed to get himself outside. And now Plymouth has a second, and they got 5 on the scoreboard, but the yard markers looking at about 2nd and 2. Bosk remains in the ball game. Laundry over center, wideouts to the left. Slot receiver. Go for the short screen pass. Nice catch by Wishelms, who's showing that he really has got some good hands as the ball comes over the 35-yard line. And he just reached back, and that's a second nice catch of the ball game. And take a look at the replay.
Great one-hand catch here. Little screen to the left.
Just reaches behind there and just takes on the defenders. And Canarso, Boyle are there on the tackle.
Mark's been
takes it right up to, we're in a 3rd and 1 situation.
Mark's been hampered by an ankle injury all season long up to this point, and he's starting to come back into the fold now.
Okay, single man in the backfield remains Bosk. Everything else out to the right, wide side of the field. Laundry back on 3rd and 1, goes for the short pass to Cantrell. He's got a completion and a first down, catches at 35 and fights his way ahead to the 40. And Plymouth continues to move the ball in the short passing game, which Landry is very effective. Dan Shanahan on the tackle. Here comes the replay. Watch again. He just throws it right over the middle. Cantrell wide open, using his strength to fight ahead.
Cantrell has always been our best receiver the last couple of years. Real sure hands, runs great routes.
Plymouth in the eye. Now Wishelms moves off to the left-hand side. Friedman in the play. Short pass over to Cantrell again. He is Shanahan hit again by
penalty marker.
Penalty marker on the play, right in the area of the holding. So we'll have to wait and see. We've got Medwar signaling to the Lowell bench that it is holding, and that took it up in a 9-yard gain. So you're optimistic about the Freedom Football Conference and what that's going to do for the chances of the New England teams in the NCAA tournament?
Well, we certainly think that it's going to increase the chances of getting a playoff bid to either the ECAC tournament or the NCAA tournament. And we know that at the end of the season, whoever's crowned champion of the Freedom Football Conference will certainly deserve consideration.
And of course, it was a kind of a gutsy move on the part of Plymouth. They've had some very high expectations here in New Hampshire for tremendously successful records, and now they've gone into a much more competitive situation than they were in the past.
Well, I hope we're up to the task. I think we are. We've increased our recruiting budget, and we're looking obviously to do a better job and step up to the competition that's in this conference. And we're no longer in the New England Football Conference.
Landry back to pass. Now it's a draw to Friedman, who's over the 30-yard line, takes it up to the 35-yard line, which is about 3 yards short of the original line of scrimmage. The holding penalty did go against the Panthers, and that was a 1st and 25 situation. Take a look at the replay. Nice job of the fake by Landry. Of course, Lowell might have been expecting it with that long distance, and nice tackle in there in the middle by, I believe it was Menswar, coming in from the right-hand side. 2nd and about 12. A more manageable range for Plymouth. Friedman, the lone setback. Landry rolling left. Beautiful block by Friedman, and he's looking for Cantrell, who fell down. And the play was really broken. Cantrell, as he went for his cut, fell down and really threw off the timing of the play. Okay, Steve, well, best of luck to you in the course of the year, and of course, great decision on the part of Plymouth, and as we're seeing, some terrific ball game, terrific football. Of course, this is it was good to bring your main rival into the conference with you.
That's right. Wayne Edwards and I have always been longtime friends, and we just enjoyed the competition. Every year, this has become a rivalry, and we're happy to be on Sports Channel, and we thank John and yourself for being here today and carrying the game.
Okay, here we got 3rd and 15. Big series for the Panthers. Here comes the blitz. Offensive line picks it up. Landry throws it over the middle to Cantrell, and he drops it, and a good call by the official. Before I could even get it out of my mouth, John, a pull on Cantrell's left arm, it looked like to me, on, I think it was Bartlett on the play.
Trent Bartlett,
Looks like it's going to be a pass interference play and give Plymouth a 1st down.
Cantrell with a nice cut across the middle. Plymouth is finding some success there, but as you see, he's coming across, and nice pass by Landry. Lays it right out there. Just as he's closing with his right hand, you see Bartlett come in and put the hook on him, grab that arm down. The back official is the one who made the call, the deep official. No argument there.
And it was a really bang-bang play, though. Very close. Split second.
You can tell, yes, as we'll watch it again here, Bartlett is in a position to commit himself. He does leave his feet already. He sees the ball coming out because it floated. He dives and times it as closely as he can. Got there just a little bit ahead of the ball, put the hook on Cantrell, did prevent him from making the catch, but the flag is thrown. Plymouth will get a big break there with a 1st down at their own 45-yard line. 10-14 remaining here in the 4th period.
And we have to give our apologies to Mr. Bartlett. It was not he, it was Murata who had to play number 21 in the cornerback. He's been playing a lot here in the 2nd half. Landry gives to Bost, who's hitting the backfield and just brought down. Damaris penetrated. That is exactly what you want your defensive tackles to do. Get inside of that line of scrimmage, penetrate, and then he just banged Bost with absolutely nowhere to go.
Damaris, we mentioned earlier, is a pretty big character here. He's 6 feet, 295, kind of a hard guy to move out of there. It's one thing when he's just holding his own ground, but it's another thing when he's penetrating in that fashion.
But surprising agility for a guy that size.
Low center of gravity.
When are they going to put him in the short yardage situations? That's what I want to know. Okay, State. Cantrell and Carlo to the left. One running back with Shellens in motion. Landry back to pass. He's got nowhere to go. He's going to scramble out of it. He breaks free from Mindor, and he's going off to the left-hand side, showing his ability to run, and he takes it out of bounds and makes a lot. Chicken salad he makes.
We know what he made out of. Medwar with a nice pursuit was able to flush him out of the pocket, but as you said, Landry shows his scrambling ability. Nice heads-up play. Probably leaves them with a 2nd and about 3. We'll watch this play here again. Get a sense of what's happening as Landry drops back into the pocket, has just a second. Luckily, he turns just in time to confront Medwar, turns and runs away, has a lot of room, wisely runs out of bounds rather than take a big hit. That leaves Plymouth with a 3rd and about 3 from the 50. They're probably Lowell's 48-yard line.
Well, Shellens is back in the ball game for Chris Allen, who was the running back in motion in the last play. Plymouth at 3rd and 3. Important play. They're going to come left on the pitch to Friedman, who's over the first down. He's in an open field. It's across the 40-yard line, and it comes down with Bartlett. Brings him down. Encarnacio on the play. John Encarnacio. But enough for the first down and a great cutback, and that is vintage Matt Friedman. A lot of the action that you'd seen him do last year. Terrific job in the misdirection. He cut back against the grain.
We see it again here. Friedman just has not had a chance to get on track today, but there is that slashing running style that the Plymouth fans have become accustomed to seeing. A lot of people have compared Friedman to Joe Dudek in terms of his athletic ability. Showed a little bit of it there. Plymouth with a first down on the Lowell 38 and driving.
Plymouth going almost exclusively with the I formation, away from the H-back situation. Now with Shelns, moves to the left. Everything out to the left on the wide side of the field. Laundry back to pass. He's looking short. Out to the flat to Shelns. Shelns, nice play, diagnosed by the Lowell defense. Boyle, the first guy to hit him in the flat. And Plymouth is going to lose about 4 to 5 yards on the play. And that time, Lowell sniffed that one out.
We'll watch this again. As you can tell now, this is not his first option. Laundry is looking deep now. He had Carlo and Cantrell running a pick route. He had to go to Shelns as his third option. It was not what he wanted. I think Cantrell and Carlo had really crossed signals. They're trying to straighten things out. That third option was not good for Plymouth. Now they're faced with the second and about 13.
Okay, now to the H-back formation. Cantrell right, Carlo left. 3 guys deep for Lowell. Roll to the right. Got a lot of room over there. Being chased by Damaris. Oh, nice play by Fountain. He went up above the crowd to pull it down. And I'll tell you what, that was a tough angle to throw it by Laundry. He had the big guy, Jamie Damaris, right behind him, and he had to give a little bit of a lateral shift with his feet to deliver the ball.
Yeah, he's running. As we'll watch this on the replay once again. You can see that Laundry's rolling against his throwing hand, trying to find something to set up. He has to stop, do that little bit of footwork, sees Damaris, tries a little bit further, very close to the line of scrimmage, but is able to float it out there, just hanging up for Fountain. Nice catch in traffic. 3rd and about 2 for Plymouth.
That was a fluty kind of almost a shovel pass. Push it in the front of your body. Okay, 2 in the backfield. Bost is the running back. They're going to go on the pitch. The play that got him the first down, he's got to cut back. He's not going to get it. He stopped at about the 46-yard line. And he did well to get it over the 30 in that position. 4th down territory. Now what do they do? 7:10 left in the game. Field goal. What would the field goal be?
We'll take another look at this play here and see just what happened. As you said, Boss with a nice move. Didn't have a lot of running room. He takes the ball, confronted right away by a couple of defenders, tries to fight and get that little burst that might have given them the first down, but they're going to measure it right now. Might be a tad short.
Joe Encarnacio on the play. We're a tad short. 7 yards from the 30-yard line. Takes it to the 46. And the 40, so it would be a 46-yard field goal attempt with 7:10 to go. Then the touchdown gives him the win. But Coach Lou DeLoge is going to hear none of that.
Nope, he's got his quarterback Laundry out there giving the thumbs-up signal to all of his players. Probably going to take advantage of a timeout and regroup here.
They are going to take a timeout. That's a good idea. This is a critical play. Okay, with 7:08 left in the 4th quarter, Lowell leads Plymouth 20-8. We'll have more football action right after this.
Plymouth nestles in the middle of the Pemigewasset Valley, amid some of the most beautiful scenery in New Hampshire. There are hundreds of paths and trails to explore in fall, winter, and spring. But Plymouth also shares the valley with one of the most traveled roads in the Northeast, Route 93, the backbone of New England. Within 2 hours, you can be in Boston, or in Montreal within 3, with access to all the opportunities a city provides. It's a road with many stops. At one turn, you can hear an orchestra performance in the city. At the next, you can listen to the symphony of sounds in the woods of New Hampshire.
Good run. What's my time? 69.72. All right.
Okay, most critical play of the ball game with 7:08 to go. Plymouth needs one for a first down at the 30. Full house backfield. Bost is a deep back. 11 guys up in the line of scrimmage, and Laundrie goes for the quarterback sneak to the right-hand side. And it looks to me, unless his knee hit on the way by, he's going to pick it up.
Had a little bit of help there in the pileup. Teammate Eric Parker was trying to kind of drag him across that line to see if he could get a little bit more in the thrust. The Lowell coaching staff, yes.
Much to the delight of the homecoming crowd here in Plymouth. The green shirts pick it up, and they allow their march to continue at the 29-yard line. First and 10. 7:03 left in the fourth period.
They talk about upcoming future games, too.
Plymouth still driving here now, working the clock under 7 minutes. They're down 20-12, working from their own, the Lowell 29-yard line.
H-back formation. Boss the running back. Laundrie back. Short drop. He throws it deep down the left-hand side to Cantrell, and he's got it! He has got it with a great catch with a man hanging all over him, and he has atoned for dropping that pass in the first half with a great catch in traffic. Plymouth brings it to within one.
Spectacular catch by Cantrell. Nice job by Rizzo to just, by Laundrie to just float the ball out there, allowed him to run under it. Let's look at it again here. Rizzo's going to, Laundrie's going to roll to his left-hand side, his throwing side, has to buy a little bit of time, floats it up there and just hangs it. The defender is kind of trapped there. Cantrell can see the ball. The defender can't. He doesn't want to face guard. He's playing it blind. Cantrell gets to the corner and pulls it in.
Okay, knowing my acumen in math, actually Plymouth trails it by 2, 20-18, and now they're faced with a situation. They take a timeout, burn their second timeout, and they're going to talk it over. So while they talk it over, we're going to take a break. Plymouth trails 20-18.
Where would you go if you were rich?
If I was driving, we'd go south in warm weather. And if he's driving, we'd go north in...
No, we'd go just plain north. That's all good country up there.
I would take my wife to Russia with me next week.
I'd get into my car and just drive off into the sunset and go wherever I could possibly go.
Well, 6 blocks south down the rotary traffic.
Pack up the band, take them to New Orleans, then on to Hawaii.
Isn't it fantastic to be rich?
We're back. Plymouth going for the 2-point conversion. They really got the field split. 3 people wide to the left. Boston motion. Got to be a pass. Laundrie over center. He drops back. Quarterback draw, and he takes it in for 2. He fumbles. There's a fumble on the play. There's an assign, though. The officials are going to give him the fumble occurred after he crossed the goal line, and Plymouth ties the score 20-20.
Great call by the Plymouth offensive coordinators. They spread the entire field. We're going to look at this again. Spread the entire field. The entire Lowell team looking for the pass, trying to open it up. Laundrie takes the drop here. So 1-2 quick step drop. It's a draw play all the way, design play. He takes it in, takes the heavy hit at the goal line, does lose possession of the ball, probably forced by the ground, however. Right. So that's going to go on the books. 2-point conversion for Plymouth.
But he was crossed the goal line before the fumble. You know, I got to say, that's, they completely fooled me as I, announced that they're going for the pass, and they went for the quarterback draw. But the play calling, I would say, in the second half really has been terrific, especially when you consider that the Plymouth offensive coordinators or the offensive coaches were really in the box. Not a lot was working. They were down 20-0, and all of a sudden the kids started executing, and now the touchdown itself was a deceptive call. Short drop, and it was still the bomb. Yep. Take one more call at the play. You can see everything is spread out. Lowell really doesn't know where to go. And then a gigantic hole opens up. Good job of closing it down, though. I think it was Bartlett to step in there, hit the ball with his helmet. But by that time, Laundrie had been across the goal line to tie it up.
And Laundrie really made that play work with a great fake. I mean, he put everything into that 2-step drop. You could see the linebackers freeze and start backpedaling, and he just waited till that last second. When Damaris had committed to the outside, he cut to the inside and carried it into the end zone. Again, took a heavy hit crossing the goal line, but I'm sure he's not going to complain about that since he tied the game up at 20-20 with 6:36 to play.
And there it goes. Chabot delivers it deep. They've got it in the middle of the field. Returns coming right up the middle of the field. And a lot of white shirts and green shirts going down. Returned by Dana Maxwell. And he took it over the 25 to about the 27. You pick out the number. You can pick out just about anybody. Sean Cavanaugh looks to be the big guy and also number 14, Tyler Moore.
Is he related to Mary?
And you know he got a hard time in school every once in a while. Tyler Moore with a good job, and Plymouth does a nice job. It's got Lowell at about the 26-yard line. Completely new ball game. Now Lowell's got to reverse their course and get back into it. Get back into the things that were working well for them, and that's mixing it up, throwing the ball, running off tackle.
They're looking for a long drive that's just going to eat up the rest of the game, and Plymouth obviously is going to be going for the ball on every occasion.
And they've taken Machado out, and they got 3 wide receivers in the game as Spinelli, and here it is to Spinelli. He's got it, closing down, got it at about the 30-yard line, and it was, who was it? Giard is the guy who closed it down, but it picks up 5 yards, and it gives them a nice, an enviable situation on 2nd down. It'll be 2nd and 5.
We're going to watch this again now. You see Spinelli break out to the flat, and Rizzo with a nice pass just floats it out there. Really impressed with Spinelli. He's not a big guy. He's not an imposing physical creature, but he's kind of a classic possession receiver, a little bit like Brian Brennan maybe, or Gerard Phelan. Not going to get you the touchdown, but sure hands, makes the catch, and gets you some yardage every time out.
Lowell sticks with the 3 receivers. Machado's in the game, and they go to Machado right up the gut. Plenty of running room, and he runs over, takes it up to about the 40, and it was John Morley at the bottom of that pile who upended him, but Machado picked up probably another 3.5 yards after he was upended.
Problem right now for Plymouth in that Mike Giard is down. He got caught in an inadvertent roll. He's got a knee problem right now.
First and 10 for the University of Lowell. 5:46 left in the ball game. Mike Giard has just come off the game under his own power, and here goes off right tackle and Machado. He runs right into big number 75, John Barry, who stuffed it again and has made a habit of doing that off of that play here in the second half.
He has done a nice job in kind of stopping the thrust of that Lowell ground game. A little bit of help also coming up late was Bruce DeVito, who's in the game replacing Mike Giard, who did limp off with what looked to be either an ankle or a knee problem. DeVito staying in the game for the Panthers defenders.
Important here for Plymouth. They want to stop Lowell here. They'd like to stop them sooner than later so they can get themselves in pretty decent field position. 2 more first downs, and Plymouth's going to be pinned against their back against their goal line. Rizzo's back to pass, flips the ball in his hands, and then drops one into the flat and overthrows Spinelli out there. And he never really seemed to have a grip on the ball in that play.
He never had a grip, and he didn't have much time either. Chris Healy with real good pressure, the sophomore from Hanover, Mass, chasing him, number 56, kind of forced Rizzo's hand. He threw the ball probably before he was ready, floated it out a little bit too far, wasn't able to complete the pass.
John Roper in on the play as well. Nice job of penetration. I've never seen a quarterback flip the ball like that when he's going back. But this has been a game for firsts here. I've seen a lot of them.
Okay, inside of 5 minutes now.
3rd down, 9 yards to go. Straight eye backfield from Eugene and Machado back there. Rizzo's rolls to the left. A lot of pressure. He's hit as he throws it. It's going to come up short. Cloutier on the play really delivered the blow right as Rizzo's let it go. It came up short. He was trying to go for Tom Bradley in the left flat around the 50-yard line. Also good defensive coverage on the part of State.
Watching this again here now, you see Rizzo drop back. He gets heavy pressure. Cloutier coming in on him. John Morley also hit him and forced the pass short. That drops way short of the mark. 4th and about 9. Lowell to punt.
Charlie Sheeran lets it go at about the 30-yard line. High punt, not real far. Going to bounce back over Lowell and coming back to about the 42-yard line. Big break for Plymouth. And that took a pretty high pop from went right over the hat. John Encarnacio, who was right there, but it just jumped right over the top of them, and he had a full extension on the leap.
Good break. That's about an 8-yard pickup for the Panthers before they even get their hands on the ball, going to work to their advantage. They'll be setting up at about their own 43-yard line. 4:42 remaining here in the 4th period. We're tied at 20-20. Plymouth now in control with the ball.
17-yard punt. Good break for Plymouth. Okay, they got it at the 43-yard line. They're going to stick with the same things that have got them there. 2 guys in the slot, Carlo and Cantrell right. I back, Friedman the deep back. Lowell got 3 backs, 2 linebackers. They give it to Friedman right up the middle, stacked up at the 30, at the 45, and a passel full of bodies. Jordan is there. Damaris is there. Everybody but Ray Flynn is there, I think. Big crowd. Not much gain for Plymouth, maybe a 2-yard gain. Make that a 1-yard gain, 4:22 in the game. So Plymouth has got kind of a dual mission here. They want to get it down in scoring position, but they also want to take time off the clock.
Which makes this a very big play at 2nd and 8.
And not an enviable call either. H-back formation with Shells down in the slot. usually passing on this situation. Play fake. Laundry going to the left-hand side. Avoids Boyle. Throws it down the middle of the field. Picked off! What a play by Encarnacio! He went up and got it. Joe Encarnacio. Laundry could not lift it over. He tried to fire it instead of just walked it over. Encarnacio was in the short spot in the zone.
Nice vertical leap and good hands, too. He was able to hang on after tipping the ball. I'm not sure he expected to catch it. He was happy to get a chunk of it, but he was able to control it enough so it fell back into his hands, and obviously that is a very big turnover for Plymouth. We're going to watch this one again here. Again, plenty of time for Laundry. He gets away, and he has time to set up. He does, and he just tries to zip it, as you said, Dave. He didn't quite float it enough. He did have a receiver behind Encarnacio, tried to fire it through, and made the mistake of putting it right into his hands.
Low with great field position at the 42. They're going to go with that wide out. 2 wide outs left. Only one guy in the backfield. Rizzo's back to pass. They flooded it to the right. He's banged. He stays alive. Pass it. Oh! Tried to go to Bradley. A little bit behind him. P.J. Hansen right there. Good play by Hansen. He actually almost came up with the interception.
Nice play by Hansen. Very good timing because he's talking about coming at him. Let's look at this again. Rizzo with a great job in the pocket. Has to fight off a couple of real good aggressive Plymouth defenders. Comes back up and fires it just there. Hansen on the spot, kicking himself for not coming up with the interception, but I think he should be congratulating himself for breaking up the pass in the first place.
Cloutier made the pressure from a blitz from the inside linebacker's spot, forced Rizzo to get rid of it a little early. We got a little whistle on the play. Looks like we're going to get a official's timeout. We are going to go timeout to Lowell as they want to talk it over. We're going to take a break. Ball game is tied, 20-20, 3:46 left in the game.
Every time I tell people about a great deal they can get on a Chevy, they can't resist. They want to hug me. But this time, I'm not taking any chances. Because it's your Chevy dealer's biggest event of the year.
The Chevy year-end clearance sale. To make room for the 93s, we're offering generous cashback deals, smart lease programs, and special incentives on all 92 Chevy cars and trucks in stock. Over 10,000 to choose from.
Who can resist? Oh, no. I should have known this was going to happen.
See your neighborhood Chevy dealer today.
Welcome back to Courier Memorial Field here at Plymouth State College. We've got a timeout just about to end. Ball game tied. Lowell and Plymouth State. Want to take the time to remind everybody of the ball game next week that we'll be bringing right at you. University of Norwich cadets will be taking on Worcester Polytech Institute. I'll be there along with Joe Dudek, and we'll bring you all the action. I think John's on assignment with the Alcorn A&M game. Okay, Machado has got it. They come out on a 2nd and 10. He goes across the 40-yard line. Not a lot of room there. Picked up maybe, 3 yards? 4 yards. Going to have a 3rd, and they're going to give him 5 yards. 3rd and 5. That's a very long 5.
Okay, we're going to watch this one again. Lowell staying with the bread and butter stuff late in the game. They want to keep the ball on the ground and keep the clock running. Machado just bowling it straight ahead. That's all they have to do now. Get up to 5 more yards here for the first. 3:18, the clock running. Lowell again going to exercise that ground and ball control game.
3rd and scoreboard's got it as 5. I think it's 6. He's staying with the one running back. Look for the play and the flood to the strong side of the field. There it goes to Bradley. He's got it in the air again. That guy is unstoppable when he goes up in the air to catch the ball. First down for Lowell, and the clock is becoming increasingly a factor as we move. We stopped right at 3 minutes as the ball goes to the 28-yard line.
This has been a way for Lowell to make its living all day. Rizzo with the 3-step drop, hangs it up in the air, makes Bradley go up and get it in front of Hansen. He does. Hansen makes the tackle, but not before Bradley gets the first down that keeps this drive alive for the Chiefs.
And that was designed for Rizzo's isolated in a one-on-one situation. Here we go to Machado. He stopped right at the line of scrimmage, behind the line of scrimmage. Good penetration on the play. Number 66. Who's been there a lot, statistician Keith Ferreira. We wind up here wreaking havoc with our rosters, but Keith Ferreira has done a nice job penetrating here in the second half. That time stopped the play for no gain. Clock down to 2:21. Lowell has got it like this, reminiscent of Plymouth's game last week against Norwich, where Norwich took it right down to the end, ran down the clock, and then missed a field goal wide left as it ended. Rizzo's over center. He's going to fake it to Machado. He's looking right, throws in the flat. Little tangle up there with Caraciola and Wagner. No call. And really nobody jawing with the officials, so probably was nothing. Wagner really didn't have a chance to get his hands on the ball. And it's going to be 3rd down and 10 yards to go. 2:05 left in the ball game. As you know, it's all tied up at 20-20. What are you going to call, John?
Well, it's 3rd and 10 by my count looking at this right now. I don't think they want to put the ball in the air. I think they'd like to keep the clock running, so I'd look for Lowell to keep it on the ground. They've got Plymouth pinned down there pretty far if they can keep the ball.
I'm going to go away from deception and go right to my guy who's made all the big catches. Bradley on the right-hand side, and he's on the right-hand side. They got somebody deep in the end zone, and they go left to Wagner, and Giard, who's back in the ball game. Nice play on the close. Looked like Wagner had some room, didn't give him a chance to turn around, dropped him in his tracks, and that's no small feat considering that Wagner is 225, 230. Giard goes about 180.
Watch this again now. You can see, as you said, he's looking right, and breaks left at the last minute to Wagner, who had slipped away pretty much unnoticed. Give credit to Giard for going away from everybody else's attention. He stayed with the man and brought him down. That leaves Lowell with a 4th and maybe 8 now, but this is 4 down territory.
So obviously they don't, at this point, they don't think their kicker's going to be able to do it. All right, this is, you got to go back to your bread and butter, and Bradley, he's on the right-hand side. They go to the middle to Spinelli. He's got fumble on the play. Plymouth has got it. They pick it up. It's P.J. Hansen on the recovery. Big hands by Hansen. He had one guy to get over, and I think a leg whip is the thing that brought him down on the part of Spinelli. Good play to keep your head in it rather than just get frustrated on the part of missing the, when you fumble.
Let's take a look at this again. Rizzo getting set up, lays it out there. Spinelli with the catch and a little bit of juggle, just loses the ball. Look at this camera shot. Nice pickup by Hansen. Great work, guys, in the truck. Nice work on the cameras. Hansen with a nice pickup that gives Plymouth the ball with 1:14 remaining. They've got a long way to go. They're set up on their own 21-yard line.
They have an outstanding kicker, so they probably need to get to about the 20-yard line. But it was the leg whip by Spinelli. Panthers are going, check that, with one guy in the backfield. Laundry back in the short drop. He's going to Cantrell. He's open the left-hand side. Somebody falls down in Canarcio, and he takes Shanahan, and he takes it over the 35. Give him a first down, stop the clock. 1:06 remaining in the ball game.
Plymouth in the hurry up. Again, here we go with the replay. Seeing Laundry look left and hangs it out there. An awful long throw against his body. Cantrell with the catch, moves it upfield. They stop the clock to move the chains.
Cantrell zips it a little bit too hard. Check that. Laundry fires a little bit too hard to Cantrell. He was back about 15 yards maybe, but no chance on that one.
I think
Stops the clock at 58 seconds to go, and maybe that was the idea. Anyway.
I think that was the express purpose of that play. I'm not sure that Clemens on his best day fired one with quite that kind of velocity. Cantrell waved at it, but it was enough so it did stop the clock. Plymouth with a 2nd and 10 from about the 36-yard line. Their own 36.
Picked up the pace of coming out of the huddle. They're not taking any time in there. 2nd and 10, ball on the 35-yard line. They got about 30 yards they need. Laundry back to pass, 2 wide outs, pump fake long. He's going to Carlo. Good coverage. He throws it in there right over Shanahan, and that baby was covered terrific on the part of Shanahan, who had the deep spot, and also Bartlett was coming from the middle. Trent Bartlett, and really, Carlo never even got into an area where he's in position even to come close to catching that one.
That was a long route to unfold as well. Laundry had plenty of time to let it go. It just took too long to unfold. He just let it go. Carlo, as you said, David, not able to get out there. Plymouth lucky that they were able to outthrow the defenders as well. As you see here, long throw from the left-hander just outside of Shanahan's reach. Gives Plymouth another shot, 3rd and 10.
Tell you what, the lower flats, though, are wide open, and Plymouth should be taking yards, 10, 15 yards at a chunk. Laundry back to pass. He's got a lot of time. He's got Medwar after, and now he's in trouble. Great job of scrambling to La Police, who's got some room. He can get by Giuseppe. He's got it. He's over the first down. He's after midfield to about the 42-yard line and goes out of bounds. He stops the clock to boot. 36 seconds left in the ball game, and he's got it down to the 42-yard line in Plymouth territory. Great job by Laundry to pick his way and finally find somebody who was open.
Let's look at this one again. Great improvisation by Laundry. He is flushed out of the pocket. Great work by Medwar. Plymouth defender blocker Dave George doing a great job keeping him away. Looks downfield and finds La Police, who does the great thing, cutting against the grain all the way across field to get out of bounds with 36 seconds remaining.
Wide outs to the left, wide side of the field to the left. That's Laundry's strong spot. Short drop, throws it out in the sideline to Cantrell. He's got to get it out of bounds, and that's what he does. Takes it out on the 36-yard line. And there's a player down on the field who's hurt, holding his knee. Looks like La Police. Okay, Plymouth breaks the huddle. They're on the 25-yard line, 31 seconds to go. They need about another 6 yards for Chabot. Michels is the only guy in the backfield. Short drop. Laundrie throws it deep. Encarnacio on Carlo, and he's knocked down. There's going to be no call, and I think that's a good call by the official.
Good non-call, and almost intercepted. I think Plymouth dodged a bullet there as he tripped over the Plymouth receiver. Mark Burke was the one who had broken free. He was the intended receiver on the play. Take another look at this one here. Long throw again for Laundrie, the left-hander going against his arm again. Burke is open momentarily, but as he turns to come back for the throw, he's tripped over by the Lowell defender. Who was that, David?
I think it was Encarnacio.
Was it Encarnacio?
Nice
play.
job.
And even falling over backwards, he was almost able to make the catch while lying on top of Burke on his back.
Okay, Plymouth brings three receivers to the short side of the field. Burke is the wide out to the right. Michels is behind Laundrie. Lowell with only four guys deep now. And there's a quarterback sneak, and he's breaking across. He's into the field. He's up to about the 20-yard line. What a call. What a call. They're going to go. I don't even know if they have to go for the field goal, but 17 seconds remaining in the game. They're definitely within Jay Chabot's range. And I got to tell you, that is about as unexpected a call as you're going to see in that situation.
Let's take a look at it again. Laundrie with the drop, fakes everybody out and goes straight ahead and does some real heavy work inside against the big Lowell linebackers and defenders. Able to fight his way down, as you said, David, inside the 20. Don't know if it's within Chabot's field goal range yet, and don't know whether that's important. There's 17 seconds on the clock. They've got a first down, and the timeout situation, Plymouth still has some timeouts to play with. I believe they have 2 left.
No, I think they have 1 left.
1 left?
But this is definitely within inside of Chabot's range. They're at the 20-yard line now. Drop it back 8 yards, 28. It's a 38-yarder. I believe his career high is about 47. And they're bringing in all kinds of new people, and they're going with Chabot right now. 17 seconds to go on 1st and 10. Interesting call. But gives them a chance if something happens and they have a fumble, they'll have a chance to go for it again. Jay the Toe Chabot with a chance at homecoming to be the toast of town from the 28, which makes the 38. Snap is down, kicks away, and he badly missed it. Monroe with a chance to run it back, but they're going to down it in the end zone, and it really never even had a chance.
It looked like Ed Morrissey, the holder, took the snap cleanly, and just don't know if Chabot may have caught a divot on the way in or what, but as you said, Dave, way off to the right, not even a chance, not even close to the uprights. Lowell's going to get the ball with 12 seconds left on the clock.
Replay of the kicker rolling.
Take another look at the kick here and try and watch the spot by Morrissey. Again, the snap's a little high right at his face, but just off the mark. Jay the Toe Chabot knew it right away, broke away, trying to defend against the return, but Lowell, as we've seen, opted not to return the ball.
Tough break for Jay the Toe Chabot. I've hit a number of 7-irons like that myself.
Not during homecoming weekend, however.
Lowell is going to go for one last time. Is Doug Flutie in the stadium someplace? Billy Rizos in the shotgun. Plymouth with 4 guys at about the 45-yard line. He throws it up there with 7 seconds to go, and the ball comes down and intercepted by Giard with 4 seconds to go. And now Plymouth will get their chance to do that. I think they got to go with that punt return kind of a play. Run everything right, screen it right, throw the Can you throw two forward passes on one play?
Let's watch the replay in this case. Rizzo with plenty of time, obviously. Plymouth is sending everybody back, rushing only 2 or 3 people. Sets up and just airs it out, looking for Bradley, who did get down past midfield. But again, there's 4 Plymouth defenders there to field the ball. Not even sure. That's an interception by committee.
I got the play. Lateral it, throw it behind on kind of a screen pass to the left. Turn around, throw a farther lateral cross field to the right, and have somebody break in deep for the play.
We want to lead out on the fly as soon as the game's over. Just post the score and say good night. Goodbye.
4 seconds left in the game. Plymouth State in a big comeback here in the second half. Looked like they were down and out against Lowell. They came back to tie it. Plymouth was one final shot. Don't know if they're going to run my play. Laundrie over center, 4 people spread out to the right. He's back to the pass. He's looking long downfield to Cantrell where 2 guys are. Cantrell is bounces around. Encarnacio almost had it, almost bounced to Cantrell, and that's the ball game. We have got a 20-20 tie. Lowell comes from way back to tie it on the University of Lowell. Your thoughts in the game quickly, John. We're almost out of time.
Certainly a wonderful homecoming victory, and psychologically for Plymouth, they were down 20-0 in the second half. A great game for the spectators, a lot of razzle-dazzle, a lot of opening play, and I just think the fans are going away happy, although the coaches might not be with a 20-20 tie.
And life is perspective. Lowell's got to be upset. Plymouth has got to be pretty happy when you consider where they each were in the third period. Okay, that'll just about do it here on homecoming from Plymouth State College in the foothills of the White Mountains. Another example of just the kind of play that we're going to see in the Freedom Football Conference during the course of the year. Final score, 20-20 tie ball game, and we're out of time, so thanks for viewing. We'll see you next week. University of Norwich takes on Worcester Polytech, and that's it from Plymouth, New Hampshire.